Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back. It is Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I am Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys. If you are watching or listening right now, please like, share, subscribe, and follow us on everything. And if you can, please rate us 5 stars. If you are having trouble finding us, please go to our link tree. It's linktr.ee/fringe_fanatics. You can get links to wherever we're on podcast, like anywhere you want to listen to the podcast, or wherever you want to get to the YouTube and all of our social media as well. And on social media, everything Fringe_fanatics. We made it easy. Anyways, Chad, how have you been doing this week?
I've been doing pretty fantastic. Thank you. Just got done with the parents, the old rents visiting
The
over
rentals,
the weekend.
the rentals were in town. How was that?
It was great. It kind of is going to lead into our new sponsor, Don's.
Oh, there we go. We have a sponsor now.
I figured I would just segue into it.
There you go.
Yeah, so I took them there on Sunday, and let's see, Saturday night, I told you, we went to go see Joe Coy. That was fucking hilarious. Yeah, that was, I knew I would laugh and have a good time, but I didn't expect to laugh that much. I mean, it's like one of those comedians where like my jaw was hurting.
The cheeks hurting.
That kind of
belly
sounds
laugh.
weird, but yeah.
It does sound kind of
My cheeks.
Did you go backstage?
I found them that funny. But it was just like like Hannah was over there just crying because she was laughing so much. Like, he is a fucking funny comedian. Like, not enough people know about him, really.
Yeah. I mean, he's gotten pretty big. He's one of the bigger touring comedians there for a little while.
You know who he's big with, though, is like minorities. I feel like when I ask white people about him, they don't fucking know. Like, he's one where like it was pretty cool. Like, there was a huge diverse crowd there. It was pretty nuts.
And the one thing nice about going to comedy shows is like everybody's there for the intention of laughing. So it's like, it's almost like that mob mentality, like where everybody's like having a good time. So it's like way easier to get more into it and laugh fucking your ass off.
He kind of talks about that. He's like, if you're not laughing, like, it's just fucking leave. Like, it's here. So easy. It's free, but not tonight.
It was weird that he was dating Chelsea Handler there.
He
for
was.
a bit.
Yeah.
They broke up.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. It was just like they didn't really seem like
not at all.
Expect.
That's probably why it didn't last. But I guess they're still friends. So that's all that matters.
Seems like they're pretty cool. But yeah, it was a great time, and so took him to a few good restaurants and shit. So that was a fun time. And leading into Don's, I took him to Don's Club Tavern on 6th Avenue there in Denver. Want to do our first ad for them just because they've supported me so much throughout the years with my alcoholism. Not quite alcoholism, but they're a great time. I mean, I've talked to my mom and dad so much about them that I just had to show them in person. And afterwards, like, it was probably the highlight of the trip. Like, there was this old guy there that was just like, fucking hilarious. Just like an old bar rat.
Were you there in like the early afternoon?
Yeah, we got there around like 2.
Okay,
not long after.
So it's like
so it was great. Yeah, you see those types of people. But like my dad came out of it, and that's a perfect way to do an ad because these, my parents who's never seen it, they come out of it and just, they're a little biased because of, the way I love it. But even my dad said, he's like, it's just a great atmosphere. Like I told him, it's not like a fancy fucking place. It's a good dive bar.
Yeah.
They just recarpeted the place, so it's nice and, smooth.
I saw they had an issue with the sinkhole or something.
Yeah, I did see a post about that. I don't know what that was all about. I guess I should have asked Jen, but you're gonna have that sometimes when you get a bunch of Chiefs fans rocking and rolling. And stuff.
Yeah, and it's an old bar too. It's like 7 years old.
Oh yeah, it's like over. I think now 70. What's it? 76. They had their 75th that we went to like last year.
Nice.
But yeah, long time, but good price drinks. It is called mixed drinks because you go there if you want to get a martini, you can get that. It's not like a place where you just got to get bottled beer.
Get yourself
or anything.
an old fashioned.
Yeah, you can get that there
at the bar and in the bathroom.
Yeah, it is possible.
Anything's possible.
Go check them out. I mean, they treat people great, and they've got patrons that have been going there for decades. Jen, Amanda there, Amy runs the place, and of course, they do a great job catering to Chiefs fans. And then even in the summertime, they have an awesome garage door that opens up. cools down the place really well. And then they have this like little patio area that kind of borders 6th Avenue a lot. And then, you know, right next to it, you got a little dispensary if you need to like get a little toke afterwards. Or
there
anything.
you go. Everything's right there.
Yeah.
It's
But go see
located.
Don's Club Tavern. They're on 6th Avenue.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like to hang out there for, you know, obvious reasons, but
if
I've been there.
You've only been there during a Chiefs game. Like,
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sure if it was just if I was there on like a Tuesday night, you know, it's a
or
cool bar to hang out
maybe
at.
next Friday, announcing now,
What's happening?
breaking news.
That's a breaking news sound.
All right, I was going to say, we need to get a breaking news sound. I can't believe we never thought about that. Next Friday night, it won't be a Chiefs game. You should come there. I think I haven't like decided yet, but I'm pretty sure. Just go ahead and say it. I think we'll have a little get together for my 35th.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna invite some of the Chiefs crew, and we're just gonna be there having a good time.
Nice. Yeah, I'll make it out to that one.
Yeah,
I
sweet,
guess I
man.
can overlook the sea of red that hangs out there.
Come sing happy birthday to me, man. We knew you do it every
dude,
year.
I know.
It's tradition.
That's kind of my thing. I believe.
It is.
I sing happy birthday like Marilyn Monroe to most of my friends.
You serenade me, and
Yeah.
that is for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. She was like, "What do you want to do for it?" I was like, "That's my favorite place to be." At 35th, you know, because I've always said like I don't give a shit about celebrating 34th. I always think it's weird when people want to do that, especially dudes. It's like, oh, it's my 34th birthday or my 32nd.
It's got to be some sort of
It's
like
got to be a
milestone.
milestone.
Yeah,
You know, I'm halfway to
point,
40.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate it. So
That makes sense.
you know,
Well, that's cool. Let's do it, man.
come on out, people.
Everybody, all of our listeners, every one of you, be out there. Damn it.
We got listeners in Florida. We got listeners in Denmark. Come on out to Dawn's.
Yeah, fly on out for Chad Lee's birthday extravaganza.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a great weekend, man. How was
Nice.
yours?
Mine was pretty good, pretty low key. I watched a lot of sports, played some video games with Meryl's nephew Friday night. We got a little Fortnite in, you know, hanging
that's
out
cool.
with a kid that's in middle school. So
You play Fortnite at your house?
we do it. He lives in New Mexico.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't know you played Fortnite.
Yeah, I dabble in some games. So, yeah,
That's cool.
so yeah, I did that Friday night. Saturday, what happened Saturday? Oh, the Avs and Kansas lost.
That was
badly.
Rough. They did. Man, I couldn't believe it when I checked the score. It was like 5-6, and then I heard they got an empty net goal. It was
Yeah,
5-7.
yeah, damn it.
Yeah, okay, you got
and
their ass
then
whipped.
Sunday, I was actually up early, and I got a notification on my phone that the F1 race was starting, so I watched the majority of
serious?
that. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
It's a good time. I like watching this.
yeah, it was pretty fun. And then I did start watching. Oh, that was another thing too. I started watching the Drive to Survive, the F1 show on Netflix.
I thought you already you watched it already.
I know, but the new season's out now.
Oh, okay.
Last season, the show is focusing on last season. So
I see.
Yeah,
All right, that's
and
cool.
The new season just started, so
Very cool.
it's
Are you
pretty
gonna
cool
start
shit.
racing soon? We
Yeah,
should
I'm
go to
gonna get
Hunter.
into it, dude. I would fucking race some go-karts. Not really raced them, but I drove out at IMI. They have those go-karts that are like the fast ones.
Yeah.
That like are out on a track, and if you spin out, someone has to like come and get you.
Yeah, that seems fucking
Yeah,
sweet.
It's pretty cool. We can go do that sometime.
I think it'd
Or
be
we should
cool.
go to Unser Racing over there.
I've looked into it, man. It's fucking expensive.
We went there. Yeah, it is expensive. We went there for Jason's bachelor party a few years ago.
Nice.
It was pretty fun. Me and Andrew whooped up on all these kids that were into racing. It's like
Oh,
racing
that's
dirt
fucking
bikes and
cool.
shit. And then a chubby rock and roll dude and a skinny rock and roll dude came in and showed him what was up.
Sharked him, huh?
Yeah, we had the best times.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like you gotta put on a helmet, and it's like a real deal, huh?
yeah, it is. Helmet and
Nice.
it's pretty cool. That one out at IMI, you have to put on a fire suit.
Jesus.
Yeah, like you have
They
to
run by
literally
gas?
suit up. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's
That sounds fucking awesome.
It is pretty fun. They go like fucking 50, 60 miles per hour. I went out a long time ago and I was ripping around the track, and some kid's dad who was racing asked my dad, "So is that kid racing?" He's like, "No, he's just out here dicking around." And he's
Dude,
"No,
you're like
he's-
a natural.
He's got a pretty good eye for corners and like following lines and stuff. And I was like, "Oh well, if only getting into go karting wasn't insanely expensive."
Yeah, no kidding. It's like one of those things you have to do from a child, just all the way up.
Yeah, like all those guys in the F1 started at, karts, and they've all been racing each other. Like most of them that are racing now have literally been racing since they were like 7 years old in go-karts.
That's what I was about to bring up. Did you know Travis Pastrana's doing NASCAR now?
Yeah, I saw.
Like the Daytona 500, he finished like
It's like the middle of the pack. Yeah, kind of, but still.
first race.
Yeah.
know?
That guy's like insanely good on anything with a motor.
Yeah, anything with a motor or wheels.
He's jumping out of planes too. He's good at that.
He is a nut, man.
It's crazy he hasn't died.
Yeah.
I don't wish that on him. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Travis Pastrana.
Nitro Circus was fucking awesome. I loved that show.
That was a good show. And I never went and saw it, but those arena shows they had, like they would show those on the TV shows sometimes, and it's like so fucking nuts. Like I got the dudes in the wheelchairs hitting those huge jumps, doing like backflips in wheelchairs and shit.
Huge vert ramps. Yeah, I've seen some like videos of some friends that went, and it always looked like a damn good time.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Well, should we get into this leadoff shot for episode 26?
We should. It is the 26th episode.
We got to finish off this crown, dude.
I don't know what that means necessarily, but we have been doing this for a while now.
Yeah. And we're moving right along. Each week
half a year.
New listeners.
We've been doing this,
and
which
new
is crazy.
sponsors.
Yeah, we got a sponsor.
Yeah.
Got listeners increasing.
We got a new guest on today that we're about to call up.
Yep, we're going to do that. So that's going to be exciting. Yeah. So to episode 26... to our first guest that has nothing to do with football, really.
Well,
I mean, he does, but it's not football based on why we're having him on right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but today we got some good news, and it's really kind of ironic because it does circular around his team, the Jets.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I was going to bring that up. So
we'll get into that.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Let me get that out of the way first.
Crown Royal. Well, that first one always sucks.
God, dude, it really does. Oh,
you got to be ready for it.
So nuts because like my parents like to drink, and then whenever we come here, before we went out each night, I was like, "Let's pregame. Let's do some shots." God, I look like a bitch when I do shots with them, man. They just fucking take it like no problem.
You're like holding your nose.
Let me get a chaser. Like, I don't just. It's not my thing. I'm like, I'll smoke a joint. I could do that. Shit.
That goes down smooth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's get Adam on. So Adam
we're gonna have a new segment. Sorry to cut you off,
Oh.
but we're just gonna bring out. I told him, is it okay if we call this segment Shinetime? His name is Adam Shineman. It's like SHEINMAN, I think.
Okay.
Shineman, just spelled a little differently. And he was like, hell yeah, I love it. So we're going to have a new segment called Shinetime.
Shinetime.
Yep.
He has a golf channel. Well, I guess is it like a podcast or is it just?
I think it's like just a social media.
Yeah.
And I think he writes articles for it a little bit too. But
I've seen
it's
he
really
does writing and
produced.
stuff. Yeah, he does a lot of good shit. Most of his videos all look super professional. And
yeah, we'll afterwards we'll bring up that social so we can mention that. Let's see.
I think it's just at Shinetime Golf.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But we'll make sure when we talk to him.
Gonna tell him right now. Going to call now. All right, some golf expertise. You ready for this?
I'm ready. I think so.
go.
I got notes, dude.
I know you do. You know golf a lot better than me, so I trust you.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hey Alexa, call Adam Shineman.
Which contact? Adam Shineman or Adam Metro?
Adam Shineman.
Sorry, I couldn't tell which contact you wanted to call. Do you know their phone number?
I was afraid of this.
Alexa, you bitch.
Alexa, call Adam Shineman.
Which contact? Adam Shineman or Adam Metro?
Adam Shineman.
I'm leaving all this in.
Sorry, I couldn't tell which contact you wanted to call. Do you know their phone number?
Just say the number.
Here's a number between 1 and 10. It's 3.
What the fuck? This is hilarious. Oh my god.
I need to quit talking whenever you're addressing her.
Hey Alexa, call Adam Shineman.
Calling Adam Shineman.
I think it's working.
You just had to say it very enunciated.
I'm gonna change his last name to where it's a little easier.
Is your phone volume all the way up?
I don't think my phone volume matters. It's this volume. Oh, let me pull it over here though.
Yes, hold the orb of voices.
That's a good way to put it.
Yo, dude.
Adam, what's up, man?
What's up? How we doing?
Doing good. When you listen to this, you'll understand that Alexa had a hard time trying to figure out, like, which Adam do you want me to call? It was kind of embarrassing, but we got it done.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. First guy ever, first in your contacts. Unless you got an Aaron sign up, there's usually everybody's got a bunch of Adams in their contacts. So glad you found the right one.
Yeah, definitely, man. So eventually you'll meet him. But this is my buddy Chris.
What's up, Adam?
Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm chilling. I'm excited to be talking with you guys and see how I can help and contribute some facts.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we wanted to have your expertise on, so we kind of explained to the listeners about your, background in golf. So I want to break that down a little bit. Did you watch last weekend's Invitational?
Bay Hill?
I watched the final round.
Okay.
Which,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say one thing I wanted to ask you about. I kind of texted you earlier. Is just we went to Don's on Sunday, and I was kind of looking at it, just kind of glancing, and at one point it looked like Roy was in the lead, and then just all of a sudden just kind of lost it, and then ended up tying for second, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the story is kind of more about this guy Kurt Kitayama.
That's what I want to hear about.
Yeah, he had been. I mean, I think he was in the lead round one. I believe he was in the lead round two. The narrative is basically like this guy it was always kind of was in control. But Rory, Rory made enough bogeys to just kind of not have enough. It was a tough leaderboard, man. Like, dude, so many good fucking some of the best top 10, top 15 players were in the finals. If you look at the leaderboard, other than Kurt, the other 7 players, the second through 8th players, they're all played in the Ryder Cup. So I think we have to think about a David and Goliath type story with this guy Kurt Kitayama. He's now in the top 20 in the world. He's had 3 second place finishes, and maybe it's recency bias, but this might be a guy to look at for the 2023 season.
It does seem that way. I mean, like you just said, he did have those 3 close finishes. I think one was behind Rahm in Mexico, then Xander. I'm gonna mess up his name. It's Schauffele, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, Schauffele.
Yeah, in Scotland, and then McIlroy in South Carolina, and he beat them all in this tournament, which is what was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a very, very impressive, start to finish. He made some clutch putts and on 15 through 18 in round 4, and finished. He was the only one that finished under par, or sorry, not under par, but he had 279, so beat Rory's 280. But it's pretty goddamn impressive. Sorry, not under par. There's so many people under par. Was I supposed to have my shot already?
Oh, yeah. I told him to have a shot poured, but I figured after we're done talking to stuff, we'll end it that way.
Okay, I've never not done an audio shot, but definitely had some drinks before. But anyway,
yeah, we're just getting kind of started with this, so eventually when we have video on for it, we'll do that. But hey, we trust you that when we take a shot, you'll take a shot.
Hell yeah.
That's what's up. What do you got poured tonight, man?
No, I'm just penny pinching these days. I just got good old Evan Dub.
Evan Williams.
I'm usually a Lafrac kind of guy, a Lafrac kind of guy. But no.
Can I?
True EDOVE. I could lie. I mean, again, there's no camera on.
That's true.
That's
man.
true. You could say you're drinking some fancy
Don Julio down there, man. That's what I heard.
Hey, I gotta ask though, what color label of Evan Williams are you drinking? Because that is what's a big indicator.
Yeah. By the way, it's not. Come on, Evan Williams. I'm a more Pappy Van Winkle guy. Come on. No, I think I just got the black.
Okay.
Black one.
We drank the green label a lot in high school.
Oh, nice.
A lot. It's not good. The black
man,
label's better.
We've been there. We've definitely been there. We know.
Yeah. No, I got to limit my budget. I'm actually heading out to California tomorrow to do a little sports trip for my New York teams. I got the Knicks at Lakers on Sunday, and then Islanders at Ducks and Islanders at Kings.
Real quick, Adam, are you planning on stopping by where Aaron Rodgers is located and meeting with the team and him and seeing if you can work out a deal to get him there?
but unlike the Jets who are just there for 9 hours, I think I want to go by the beach. I would be happy to recruit Aaron Rodgers.
I will recommend bring him some mushrooms. He wants mushrooms.
Well, that's not a problem. That's probably the best I have to offer. I think Nathaniel Hackett got run out of town so quickly that I don't think he had time to procure his mushrooms. So
No, he didn't.
Not bring them on that trip. But yeah, man, we're really going to do this thing with Nathaniel Hackett again. Didn't you guys just do this? I mean, Chris, didn't you just do this with the Broncos?
Yeah, we did, and he's in the same position as bait for Aaron Rodgers to come somewhere, and unfortunately for us, it fell through, and we got stuck with him and Russ trying to amalgamate some bullshit offense that was horrible. So I hope it works better for you guys.
Yeah, I just being in Denver and hearing that narrative, like, oh my God, the Jets are doing that again. Hired him as the OC.
That was hilarious when I saw that. I was like, well, we know what their plan is.
Yep. Yeah. So how do you feel about it, Adam? Do you want Rodgers there? I mean, you know, we've seen all the drama. We see how he kind of leads people on, and you know, we kind of saw the play last year, which was at some points there was a lot of high points, and then there was a lot of low points too. Do you really want him there?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I grapple with back and forth. I reflect more on history than, like, I don't know, my optimism. Put it this way, I'm a diehard Jets fan. I remember every game that Brett Favre played for us 15 years ago when he had that one season with us. Started off 8-3 and then he choked. I don't know. I mean,
that's because of
I don't know
penis
if
pictures.
Green Bay quarterbacks like Favre, like Rodgers, are cut out for New York. I think that, like, they're on the back end of their career. They've won a Super Bowl. Do they really want to be scrutinized by the media? I mean, think about it this way. Like, a lot of people are taking, a runny dump on Rodgers because he just, like, does ayahuasca. He sits in a cave for 4 days. And that's he's in the smallest, like, sports market in the country.
Yeah.
And imagine the scrutiny of that when you go to the loudest, most, controversy-inducing market in New York City. Like, does he really want that? I wanted Derek Carr. I think that Derek Carr made the right move. All of a sudden, he's the best quarterback in the NFC South. They might be favorites to win the division. I wanted Derek Carr because of longevity, and like I said, I experienced the Brett Favre one-and-done season. But that's not happening now. And the Jets have always been in on Aaron Rodgers, and they told Derek Carr multiple times, like essentially communicating, "You're our backup option. We want Rodgers first."
Your plan B.
And he didn't take that, and he didn't take that lightly, and he appreciated the Jets' honesty. But no, what's going on right now, where people are tweeting out the itinerary of owner Woody Johnson, GM Joe Douglas, Coach Saleh, and obviously our offensive coordinator Elmer Fudd. They fucking want. They're turning it around in 9 hours, so they're out in California right now. They're trying to recruit. I don't know. I don't know if money speaks as much as Aaron Rodgers be like, do I want to do this shit again? I'm 37, 38 going to New York City. Like, that's just my thought. Do I want him? I want him now more than yesterday because Derek Carr's off the table.
And Zach Wilson, we know what that's like.
This team, we've seen it. We've seen it with the 7-9 Jameis-led Bucks when they got Brady and instantly won the Super Bowl. That was obviously the hope for Russ with the Broncos last year. I think he'll have a better season next year under Peyton. And here we go again. The Jets were 7-4, and they started to just sputter on offense, didn't score a touchdown the last 3 games, which honestly, I don't think the Broncos did that. I think the Broncos
we finished strong.
Went more than 2.
Yeah. Once they got rid of Hackett, they turned it around.
We just waited too long.
Yeah, exactly. But look, man, like watching the Jets control their destiny last year and put up like 3, 6, and like 9 points in the last 3 games. Like, we need quarterback, and I'm willing to take Rodgers. It's all about whether he wants to come to New York.
Yeah, and the thing is, that team, it does seem like they might be that piece away from, actually contending. I mean, you look at, they got Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, both guys that were, rookie respective on their defensive or offensive players of the year.
You had Breece Hall, too, before he got hurt. I mean, he was probably going to be the rookie of the year.
Yeah. Fuck, I was at that game. It was in Denver where he.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then in the defense, yeah, you got a lot of stars on there. So I mean, yeah, you're one piece away. But I definitely see where you're coming from with the whole like media thing and how he's going to handle that. But he's also one that's really known for. It seems like he
likes it now.
He
I think.
loves it. It's like he's that kid that like he's the little baby of the family that wants to get pictures taken or something. Like, I don't know. He goes on Pat McAfee every week.
He's
like
definitely become an attention whore. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think he's going to eat it up. But the big question that I have, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the Jets owner not rich from pharmaceuticals? Isn't that how he got his money?
Yeah, he is. Yes, for all your listeners that don't know Jets ownership, the lovely Woody Johnson. That is the Johnson of
Johnson and Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize
I didn't make that correlation either.
Wow.
I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will have to get immunized again.
It might be part of the deal.
Yeah.
But yes, that is the same guy. Fortunately, hey, maybe this swings in our favor that he would only have to take one shot versus two.
That's a good point. Johnson, one and you're done.
Well, maybe I wonder if that's the shampoo that they put on all of the lockers or something. No more tears.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, no more tears.
And a lot of baby powder.
Playoff drought in the NFL. I wish they gave Jets fans that shampoo because we've gotten plenty of tears these last.
That's funny, man. Yeah, I mean, and see that was the biggest thing when all this Rodgers talk happened, and we should mention. I guess we didn't even bring it up. That's one thing that's awesome about having you on today, and kind of ironic is news did come out today that Rodgers and the Jets are now the Packers did give him permission to speak to the Jets. But that was just my whole big thing, and the thing that I thought he was going to get hung up on is, he's just a guy that really sticks to his morals and has a lot of beliefs, I guess, holistic beliefs that he believes in, and I feel like he's always talked badly, hates pharmaceutical industry. So I thought that would be what deterred him from that, and maybe go to the bad guys like the Raiders. But the Raiders said they're not interested. So
yeah, well, the
Raiders have no money.
I think Josh McDaniels ran Derek Carr out of town. There was definitely some scuffling, and I think it was kind of under the radar. But look, that was a playoff. The Raiders were a playoff team last year that started out 2-7, and McDaniels, still who knows if he's a good coach. He sucked in Denver, but they started out 2-7, and I think that there was turbulence from the get-go because the backup was Jarrett Stidham, who McDaniels drafted with Belichick and then brought him over. So I don't think McDaniels had anything to gain by getting Rodgers. I think he wanted to start the guy that he drafted. So yeah, I just never thought that was a possibility. And McDaniels isn't going anywhere, so he can have another 6-7 win team and be able to come back for a third year. So yeah, I never saw Rodgers to the Raiders.
I initially thought that's where he was gonna go, but then then you start thinking about the fact how cash strapped they are, like where they literally can't even fire another coaching staff right now because of they're paying so many other coaching staffs, and they're the most broke team in the NFL in terms of being cash rich. So yeah, and the thing that we all knew when Derek Carr was gone was when they gave him that extension that none of the guaranteed money kicked in until the league start of this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, we knew then that this was basically a trial year for Derek Carr, and he was already up against the wall in terms of just like you said, Stidham being McDaniel's guy. So
yeah, no, I agree with everything you said.
Yeah. Well, man, I do wish your Jets nothing but prosperity because, like you and what we've talked about in the past is that's why we find common ground is because we have gone through a lot of tough years as Chiefs fans and Jets fans, not so much now.
And Broncos fans right now.
Exactly. So we all have common ground here. And so last year when your Jets were really, lighting the league on fire earlier in the season, and I like Robert Saleh a lot. I really hope that leads into next year, and I hope it keeps going. So if it is Rodgers and he decides to bite the bullet, I wish that they would take over the East and beat the Bills, and be the newcomer, because it was like last year with the Lions and stuff. I like to see those teams that have been bad in the past start to rise to the top.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Look, it's tough being a Jets fan because, NFL prides itself on parity, but lucky, for you, Chad, you got Mahomes. If you have a stable quarterback that is able to stay healthy, you can own the division for 8 to 12 years. And
yeah.
Unfortunately for the Jets, we had that with Brady for 20 years. And now it looks like we're going to have this with Josh Allen. So, if we can get a quarterback, that's our best chance to compete. At the very least, there's an additional playoff spot. So if we don't win the division, we can get a wild card. But I'm with you guys. We're really just a quarterback away. And I don't think that Zach Wilson is the answer. And I think that I think that Mike White had some moments, but he can't fucking stay healthy.
He couldn't.
That
dude's a warrior, though.
He is, man. He got the shit beat out of him and still tried to come back into that game last year. That was pretty badass.
And then they benched him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they benched him, but he was hurt. His ribs, dude. You don't come back from Matt Milano just murdering your ribs in 2 weeks.
That was
rough.
rough.
I think he did have a few broken ribs.
He got crushed on that play.
Yeah, they did. They rushed him.
Before we let you go, I do want to get back to golf real quick. I just want to ask you, correct me if I'm wrong, is the Players' Championship this upcoming weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask who this is probably where you're going.
Exactly. Go ahead, Chris.
Who's your favorite to win after last year's winner, Cam Smith, defected to the LIV Golf Tour?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I don't think there's anybody hotter than Jon Rahm.
Right.
It's number one in the world.
Yeah, and he's just been so good for so long. There's a lot of other guys like Scheffler is definitely up there. Max Homa is hot. This is a big deal. I think Rahm's going to step up and get it done. This is essentially the fifth major. If you could change history and add a fifth major, this would be it. And I don't see anybody taking him down. So it's not the sexiest answer. I haven't looked at the odds. I'm sure he might be the number one favorite, but I just don't see it.
No, that's what we want, is that most logical pick, man, because, that it definitely seems to be, he's on a hot streak right now. What is it? He's won, last 3 out of the 5 or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, which is the streak that Scheffler was on at this time last year. Scheffler, when he was on the Ryder Cup, hadn't had a professional. When he was on the Ryder Cup team last year, he didn't have a professional win yet, and then all of a sudden he wins 3 out of 5, and he's got number one. So that's Rahm is doing what Scheffler. Rahm's on that same heater that Scheffler is right now, and I think that Rahm is the favorite. I think coming up with the Masters, which is the next thing that's a lot of going to be a lot of commotion, especially with the LIV controversy. I think Rahm is as hot as anybody, so that's where I put my money.
It does seem like the course itself is going to be the deciding factor here, because it seems like a lot of these guys, even the top guys, all have problems here. Even Rahm doesn't play well at TPC Sawgrass. He has just one top 10 finish in 5 starts, but granted, he is the hottest golfer right now, so I'm sure he probably is favored. But I was just going through a couple of the top guys, and it does seem like a lot of these guys, don't like this course very much.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. I've actually been fortunate enough to play it.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and look, I wish I could say I birdied number 17, but I will tell you, hand to God, I did stick it to within 4 feet.
That's cool.
That is pretty bad. That's a legendary hole, man. Whenever it's on ESPN, I can find myself watching that specific hole just, for at least an hour or so, because you see these golfers come through, they hit the water, they might get a great shot. It's one of the most entertaining holes, in the tour.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that and Stadium number 16 at Scottsdale. Those are two awesome holes, and they're at the end of the round too, so they're like really matter. But yeah, no, I mean it's a really great course. I wonder if it's like more about the conditions. It feels like it rains at least like one round every year.
Yeah, rain and wind.
So I don't know. Look, it's golf. Anything can happen, but yeah, all things considered even, like I like Rahm to win.
All right, man. I'm taking your word for it. I'm going to put my money on Rahm. I'm going to put $100 on it right now.
And if I lose, I expect you to pay half of it.
As long as the odds are good, man. I don't want Rahm to be like minus 200. I'm sure.
In golf, I don't think we'd say maybe plus like 200 at the lowest.
Yeah. No, seriously. That would be crazy. That would be fucking crazy if there was. I mean, I wonder what Tiger was. If only we had gambling when Tiger.
Oh, right.
Like the year.
His odds were
Tiger
probably
came out.
ridiculous.
Like what? That would be amazing if there was like a minus 110 for Tiger.
That 10-year run he had, it's unbelievable, man. And it seems like John Rahm is on the cusp of that.
And
He's starting.
Spieth too started out just right out of the gates, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this guy's the next Tiger," and then he just fell off there for a little bit.
Who is that?
Spieth.
I didn't hear that.
Jordan Spieth.
Oh, Jordan Spieth. Yeah, well, Jordan Spieth. I think the thing about Jordan Spieth is that I think he's a real person. I don't think he's as devoted to golf. I know this is crazy to say for like a top 20 player, but I think with Spieth, it's like he got married. I think he like wanted a life away from golf, and I don't think he was like putting in the like 8 hours a day. He's making a comeback, but I think when he had that like little lull, I think he realized like, hey, like I want to enjoy the rest of my life too. Golf is how I make a living. I don't know if he has that killer instinct, but I don't think he's done winning majors. But you're right. Something in the mid 2010s definitely changed for Spieth, because he had like he won 2 majors in his first 2 years or something.
Yeah.
He was the world's number one.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Oh, he's the second coming," and then it just kind of, like you said, obviously life probably happened, and he's decided things were more important than golf. But I mean, you can make a damn good living at golf when you finish in like 10th and make 6 figures.
Yeah, all the sponsorships and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can still make a lot of money. My favorite memory of the internet was when Spieth tripled, made the triple. He hit the ball in the water in the Masters, and they turned the lake into the crying Jordan meme, which was perfect for a guy named Jordan Spieth. But that was great.
That's
the whole
awesome.
Lake was just Jordan crying.
Just Jordan crying, just filled with his tears.
Well,
yeah.
Hey, Adam, I got to ask real quick. One last question. It'd be a disservice to the podcast if we didn't ask you this, because he is the mascot of the podcast and my favorite golfer. What is your opinion of John Daly?
Well, so I have so many like good stories and good things to share about John Daly. It's interesting. My TikTok channel on Shinetime Golf, nice little plug that I just did at the end.
Get it in there.
He was my first viral video. I think he got my story about John Daly 500,000 views, and I learned so much about him from that. From the '91 Players Championship that he was the 9th alternative in. It's great that he won. It's great that he won, but even if he came in 10th, I would have loved to learn who this guy was. So relaxed, grip it and rip it. He went to the Indianapolis Colts game with the lead after 3 rounds. He's just so chill. He's like, what will be, what will be. I love the guy. I want him to let that beard grow even crazier. But no, I think that he's very special. I think that being an Arkansas farm boy, I don't think he ever expected to get the reputation that he has now, and I think that he's the same person that he once was, which is a beautiful thing. And the last thing I'll say about that 91 PGA Championship is instead of going, he's able to get a luxury dinner at Crooked Stick, and they asked him what he wants to eat, and he took his limo to drive-in McDonald's, and that was his victory meal.
That's awesome.
That's why we love him, man.
I love the guy. What's up?
I just said that's why we love him. He's just like, a regular dude who just is really good at golf.
Yeah. He likes to party.
Everything about him. I mean, the whole, he was always a heavy dude, but his high school coach told him to, do the classic coffee and cigarettes diet when he was a high schooler.
Nice.
And he lost 60 pounds in a year.
I remember that.
It's just, there's something about him that it's special to hear an everyman and just fucking crush it. And I think genuinely he's a good dude. I know he's had legal issues, and I'm sure he's had several divorces and several ladies. I just genuinely think he's a good dude, and I hope that his son makes it pro if he wants to.
Yeah, he's got an NIL deal at Arkansas
With Hooters.
Yep. Yeah, that's great.
I think he's got that
no,
Mickey Mantle gene too.
The Mickey, yeah. Look, it's crazy. There's the genes, but it's also it's got to be the genes. It really does. I mean, there's something special in John Daly, and I would love. I mean, dude, that kid looks like little John Daly, little John. He's fucking out driving me when he was 12 years old. That's a special kid.
Yeah.
So, if he's the mascot of Fringe Fanatics, then you chose one hell of a.
That's why we got the daily dose of excellence, man.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. We'll let you get out of here. We've kept you on long enough. We'll do a shot, and then we'll let you plug all your stuff, and then we'll let you get off the phone and go and enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, we appreciate. I mean, that's why we wanted to have you on, Adam. You really know your shit. I mean, what better guy to have on for some golf? And you're now our official correspondent for the Jets.
Hell yeah, I'm honored, and yeah, I'm kind of glad that I'm not on visual, because I do notice that you have that Kansas City Royals championship banner.
He took it down today, actually, and put up a Jayhawk, so you would be in luck on that.
I'm honest. Oh, Chris, I told Chad this, but I was at that game. So I saw Wade Davis flip his glove in the air. I saw the Royals celebrate. I saw them win a championship. So it broke my heart as a Mets fan, but I'm happy to be your correspondent for all things Mets, Jets, Knicks, and Islanders, all these shitty teams that I've never won in my life.
Well, that's awesome, man. We appreciate it. And thank you for coming on. And, hey, cheers.
To the Shinetime segment.
To the new segment, Shine Time.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers to you, man.
Cheers. Thanks, buddy.
All right, later.
Oh, go ahead and plug your stuff real quick.
Oh, yeah. You still on there?
Adam?
Oh, yeah, sorry, plug. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you were doing the shot. See, now that we know you were doing the shot. It's okay. Now go plug your stuff.
You.
Yeah, so you can follow my content. I have 2 verticals that I do professionally. I am the ghostwriter for Frank Michael Smith, big sports channel, 1 million followers on YouTube, 100,000 on Instagram. I'm the ghostwriter, so anything about sports that you see has been written by me. And then my channel for the company, Shinetime Golf. You can check it out, TikTok, Instagram, Snap, YouTube.
Fantastic, man. Yeah. Well, it is a good follow, too, for listeners out there, because I follow him on Instagram, and it's a very well-produced golf channel, and follow him on anything else.
I learn a lot.
Yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think the best way to plug it, my friends have called it poop content because if you're taking a dump and you want to learn about sports, it takes 1 minute.
There you go.
That's a good way to do it, man. All right, thanks a lot, Adam. We appreciate you, buddy.
All right, thanks, Chad. Thanks, Chris.
Have a good night, man.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Well done.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
He really knows his shit.
He does.
Yeah.
He can talk a lot about it, which I like.
Yeah.
'Cause he knows a lot more about it than we do. I was just trying to I had a lot of stuff written down, but I was like, oh, he's covering a lot of it, so I don't need to go over it.
That's what I figure, because when I do watch those golf videos, man, he really does break it down. And when I've talked to him a few times, because he comes to Don's because he's a part of, like, Friends of Friends and shit. And so, like, he knows his shit with football, too. Like, he's really clued in. And, that's just what I've noticed over the last few years is, like, when we're this in depth on, sports, it's hard to talk to the casual fans about it,
Yeah.
I've told you, like, when Hannah's like, hey, how are the Chiefs going to do this Sunday? She will preface with, I want the short answer.
Yeah,
I don't want a breakdown of the next
Spark
30
notes.
minutes. Yeah. So, yeah, that's why I like talking with him, because he knows
Yeah,
his
no,
shit.
that was cool. Yeah, we'll have to try and get him on, if he's not too busy, around either before or after the Masters to kind of talk about that, because that'd be cool to talk about. I mean, that is the biggest, like, golf event of the year,
It's
more or
huge.
less.
Yeah, I know it's their Super Bowl, so we definitely will.
Yeah, and plus we're going to talk about Jim Nance and hello, friends.
He does a good job of that. Well, even if they get Rodgers, I think we should have him on for that, because that's a fucking huge acquisition.
Yeah, we'll see how it's going to go, though, because I would have thought it would be a lot better last year because he had a few more years in him.
Yeah.
Now you're getting down to, like, well, how many years is he going to play now?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3? I don't know.
Yeah, I think one left maybe. Might be
Maybe,
like
we'll
he
see.
said with Brett Favre, I think it's a one-and-done type situation.
Yeah, let's cruise through some. We got a new. Well, we came up with a name for the segment. We didn't really talk about it, but you had headlights on
Headlights.
headlights on the headlines.
Yeah, we're gonna play around with it.
Yeah,
I'm not in love with it yet.
yeah, and then I said high beams on the headlines, which the only thing Meryl said is like, well, with headlights, it's head twice.
Yeah.
Headlight on the headlines.
So
Headlights
when I
on the
said, I
headlines.
texted you it, and then when I said it out loud to Hannah, I was like, yeah, that kind of sounds stupid.
And I don't even really like mine.
Yeah.
I just was like, I feel like we could say something different. So who knows? It's headlines though.
It's headlines. We're gonna get to
headlines. Get your headlines.
News. We got a lot of headlines to hit too.
That's headlines.
That works. Well done on the typewriter.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying.
Yeah.
So where would you like to? I figured we hit the NFL first because there's a lot of NFL stuff.
Well, you hit yours. I've got a bunch written down. If we hit the same, then
We'll
just
know.
high five and cheers.
So I guess one of the bigger things, Joe Mixon allegedly shot an
Holy
11-year-old
shit,
kid
I
in the
forgot to-
leg.
I think it was a 13-year-old kid or something. But
Last I read, so I got Joe Mixon allegedly shoots an 11-year-old in the leg who was part of a group of kids playing Nerf guns outside his house.
He thought he was like holding up a real gun.
11 shots fired.
Exactly.
One hit the kid in the leg.
How has this
dude.
not made more news? I never got
it's crazy.
I never got even an ESPN notification on it.
I saw it on ESPN, but yeah,
Well,
you think that would have been?
they don't send out an alert for it.
You think that would have been breaking news?
What the
NFL player shoots a kid?
I think
Just
it's
that
because-
headline alone.
Yeah, it's not like confirmed that
It says
shot him.
allegedly still.
Exactly,
so.
because a kid got shot at his house. That's all they know. 11 times.
It's well, not 11. Well,
Or-
yeah, he shot 11 times. The
Yeah.
kid got hit once in the
Yes.
leg by one of those 11 bullets.
That's what I meant.
But it's like Chris Carter said, man, get you a fall guy. Somebody else is going to go down for that.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be Joe Mixon.
It's
I mean, Chris, do
fucking
you remember
nuts,
that?
man.
Chris Carter said that at one of those rookie symposiums. He literally told them, like, get yourself a fall guy.
Damn.
That a dude you can basically tell him, get you somebody you can pay off for anything you fuck up, which is wild.
Shit.
He got in a bunch of trouble for
That's
that,
what
too.
John Morant needs right now.
Oh, dude, we'll get into that later.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even
news
put
was
that on the
nuts,
headline.
man. Like I saw that on Twitter today like I saw all these funny memes that it was like different memes or gifs where it
I
was
saw
like,
one of a dude shooting like a 50 cal rifle. It's like Joe Mixon. Anytime he sees kids playing outside, it's like
I saw that one too, man. It's so fucked up. But
it is
the
funny.
ones I
mean,
liked was like
seriously though. I mean, a kid did get shot. Thankfully, he's not dead.
You're
He's
right.
in the leg, so we can kind of make light of this, although it is still a fucked up situation.
Well, I don't like Joe Mixon, so yeah, fuck him. So
Yeah, he fell off last year too.
Well, that and when he came into the NFL, when he was at
He
Oklahoma,
had
I
some
believe
issues.
he got into some legal issues because he was beating on his girlfriend and shit.
Yeah.
So he's a piece of shit. So Yeah, I mean, the memes that I thought were funny was the ones that was like, I wish I could think of a good example, but it was basically like ones that the text said like, oh, Ja Morant hearing about Joe Mixon's news, and it's like kind of guy looking back like, oh, look at him, it wasn't me, you know. So he's taking all the light away from my fucking troubles.
Yeah.
So
Jackson
why don't we
Mahomes.
just go ahead and get that too? Yep, that.
Oh, what
sucks.
was your trouble?
Well, I was gonna say. Just that leads into we just get into the Ja Morant type news that came out on Saturday.
I mean, I was going to leave that out until the NBA stuff, but yeah, I mean, we can hit it now. I mean, he's under investigation now by the Glendale police.
Yep.
Because we now know it happened at Shotgun Willie's.
Yeah, I heard about that. Man, Shotgun Willie's looks sweet. I've never been there.
They redid it again.
Yeah.
And when they put that weed shop that's attached to it.
Yeah.
Because the mayor of Glendale owns that technically.
If that doesn't sound like the fucking Wild Wild West, where the mayor of Glendale owns,
she doesn't. But when she became mayor, she had to give it to her husband.
But that still seems like the Wild Wild West, where it's fucking nuts. Man.
Yeah, that's how you make things work in politics.
And Glendale has a special exemption to where their weed shops are allowed to stay up until midnight, where everybody else has to close.
I think Denver can stay open until midnight now too.
I think they did change
but
that.
Yeah,
but
Glendale was the only one. Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of them don't because you don't want to have people there that late with all the crazy people downtown,
nuts,
dude.
Yeah. But anyway, Ja Morant, after they lost to the Nuggets on a huge Friday night, lost to the Nuggets, he decides to celebrate his loss, goes to the strip club, and is seen on Instagram Live waving around a gun.
It wasn't even a cool gun.
No, it was just like
it didn't even look like a gangster gun. It looked like a little baby gun, and he like held it up and then like put it down.
And he's putting up all
and
his gang
he
signs
might be suspended for the rest of the season,
at least indefinitely, is what we've heard.
Yeah, and we saw there was another thing that happened like this. I forget who it was, but there was two guys in the locker room that pulled guns on each other. And one of them got suspended for the whole season, and another one was suspended for a pretty good amount of time. But the NBA doesn't like the gun stuff. They don't fuck around with that at all.
No.
And Ja Morant effectively could have ruined his team's chances this year. I mean, they were dark horses to make it far in the Western Conference
second
Finals.
In the West, they just beat the Nuggets the week before. That was without Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a damn good team. I mean, he's a super talented player. And he could score in the paint better than, I think, almost anybody in the NBA.
He has the best missed dunks ever in terms of highlights.
That's for sure.
And he's made a few that are pretty rad. But I guess one crazy thing that also happened was Steven Adams, before this even happened, was bitching about people going out after losses and just going out after games in general and being stupid. And I think it was kind of directed towards Ja. But I mean, he's had a bunch of issues. I forget who they lost to. Was it the Pistons or somebody? And then his friends were like waving guns at their bus when they were driving off.
And there's the whole issue. I mean, it's crazy how much the Grizzlies...
He beat up that kid and flashed a gun on him.
And we've talked about this, how the Grizzlies are almost like the new bad boy Pistons in a sense, where like they've been in trouble a few times this year, where they almost tried fighting Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Where... That would have been a pretty cool fight.
Uncle
Maybe
Shay
we
Shay.
get some celebrity boxing in the future or something. But Jake Paul, make it happen.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
But I mean, yeah. So the story I heard. So a buddy of mine at work came up to me and told me about this, where he was like, "Dude, you hear that? He like pulled this gun on a kid where they played a pickup game at his house and all this." Like, no, the story I heard was.
I heard it was at a park or something.
No, but I was talking about the story of his mom at Foot Locker.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so I guess like some kid harassed his mom at Foot Locker, and then Morant and like 9 of his friends from his posse showed up to like threaten this kid and beat him up and shit. So it's like he is constantly in the news, and if nobody knows this, he is literally Clarence from 8 Mile.
Yeah,
he was a very privileged kid from the suburbs. He is not a thug and gangster.
He didn't go to a private school, but he went to a very nice high school. Both parents, I mean, he wasn't like one of these guys who like, made it out of the streets to become an NBA player and he's still got ties to the streets. No, it seems like Jaws specifically seeked out these people to try and get clout, which is so fucking stupid.
Kind of reminds me of Drake a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't know much about Drake, but it kind of seems like it.
Degrassi. That's what I know about
Rolling
Drake.
around.
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair in Degrassi. And he made a bunch of songs with people.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money.
That's all we know.
Dude, did you see how much money he bet on the John Jones fight?
A lot of money. It was like
$500,000. He bet $250 for him to win by submission and $250 to win by knockout. And if he won, the win by submit either ticket was like over $1 million. So he made his money back. He doubled his money.
Well, cool.
Even on a loss.
Did you hear about the guy that made $400K from a $1 bet?
Oh yeah, I did see that on that. That was so nuts though.
Dude.
He literally guessed like 5 fights, rounds, and finishes.
He did a parlay, all not just who would win, but how they
I
would
almost
win.
sent that to you. I'm glad you brought it up.
That was crazy.
Yeah, $1
like
into
literally a lottery ticket.
$400,000.
Yeah, from
yeah.
$1.
He picked like Grasso to win by submission in the 4th round. He picked Garbrandt to win by unanimous decision. Picked John Jones to submit him in the 1st round. Like, dude, the shit that he picked, he had a script as far as I'm concerned.
I think
for $1, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I think DraftKings needs to just investigate if the guy's a psychic or not. Like,
he might be.
Is that Miss Cleo? Miss Cleo's son? Like,
call me now for your free tarot reading.
I think it could have been. But all right, so that's the Ja Morant news. Luckily, I think the Grizzlies aren't a threat anymore in the West.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem that way. I mean, Sacramento, we'll talk about that later.
Dude,
they're a half game back, and they are surging. They're going to
half
pass
game back at Grizzlies?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're going to pass them.
Yeah. Wow, man.
And the Grizzlies are 7 games back from the Nuggets. Dude, nobody's catching the Nuggets.
Fuck yes, they are.
Nobody.
Oh, I love it. Last night was amazing.
The Suns look scary. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we will.
Anyways, more NFL news. We're going to hit some crazy signings that came from
Today was a big day.
From the what would be the franchise tag deadline was today.
Yep.
So you have Derek Carr. This happened last week.
Got signed by the
was it
Saints?
Friday or no? It was a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was just a few days ago.
Derek Carr signs with the Saints, 4-year, $150 million, up to $100 million in guarantees.
Yep.
With the Saints, I think he got a $60 million signing bonus as well.
Nobody knows too, he actually is going to be joining the coach that drafted him. Because Dennis Allen was the coach of the Raiders.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah, way back when.
So
that's true.
I think that's definitely something that led to it.
And the thing was too, like when the whole thing came out with the Saints wanting to trade for him, and then that all falling through, and him telling you guys, "Fuck you, Raiders. I'm not gonna. You can just let me get released or whatever." I knew it was gonna be the Saints. I always just felt like since they were the ones that came out and said they wanted him, that's where he was gonna go. So that's where he goes, and he joins. Much like Adam said, he's the best quarterback in that division right now.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, look who he's going against. Maybe
Kyle
Sam
Trask.
Darnold, Kyle Trask. I mean, we really don't even know who's going to QB the Panthers, and then the Falcons. I was wrong about Jackson.
They're out.
They're out.
They said nope.
I was pissed, man. I really wanted him to go to the Falcons.
You know who a lot of people are saying is going to be?
Who?
The Commanders.
Whoa.
They're coming in as a dark horse.
Dude, Eric Bieniemy. I'd be happy about that.
Imagine that, dude. How
He's
would
a
that go
running
for him?
coach. That'd be cool.
So, and then comeback player of the year, Geno Smith signs with Seattle, 3 years, $105 million. $52 million next season will be his cap hit. It is 3 times more than he's made in his entire NFL career
Did you
to this
see that?
date.
He made like $17 million his whole career, which is like what 8-9 years.
Yeah, he's been
like
in the
that?
league forever.
For a long time, and then just this year, gonna double that with $35
Didn't
million.
the Jets draft him?
Yeah, I know he
think
played
so.
on the Jets. I
can't remember.
The Jets, yeah.
So anyways, that's good for him, dude. I mean, that guy, I'm not going to shit on him. He took advantage of his one opportunity and turned it into a 3-year deal that he's going to make money that will, generational money. So.
Such a good example of a comeback player of the year, man. Been a
He deserved
backup
it.
most of his life.
It's going to be Russell Wilson next year, but, we'll let Geno have it this year.
We'll see about that. Tony Pollard got tagged.
He did. That's the thing. That's the big, and I was going to get to this after Daniel Jones, was franchise tags of running backs. Barkley, Jacobs, and Pollard all franchise tagged. I think it's like 10.41.
10.1 is
10.1. Okay, I added a 4. 10.1 million. So I mean, that's the going rate for running backs right now. It's so crazy,
nuts,
dude.
It's the most undervalued.
It's so
position.
crazy.
They take
There's
all the
offensive
hits.
line in which, granted, they should make a lot of money just for what they have to deal with.
Crazy,
but
man.
yeah, so that's the story of the franchise tag deadline is
I
running
wonder
backs
if
getting
Jacobs
tagged.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think like Jacobs might hold out though? I mean, he led the league in rushing last year.
He might, and that's the thing too. What they said with Barkley is that they are still trying to work out a deal.
Yeah.
But I think now that they signed, who we need to talk about, Daniel Jones just signed an insane contract for a guy who, and much like Derek Carr, I mean, this is what sucks and it's because of Cleveland ruining the quarterback market.
Yeah.
Now you have mid-level guys like Wilson, like Carr, like Daniel Jones, getting paid $40 to $50 million a year.
I mean, even going into the free agency in this like offseason, Patrick Mahomes was the 6th highest paid quarterback.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl MVP was the 6th highest
That's
paid.
because they were smart and locked him up.
Well, yeah.
After his first year when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's Brett Veach and his genius and, the staff there. But he's likely to get a raise this year. But it's like Daniel Jones, he wanted $45 million. Like, you made the playoffs.
Lucky he got 40.
Yeah.
But he knows, dude. Because that's the thing. After this year and after next year, dude, quarterbacks are going to be making $60 million a year.
Man. 60 million.
And Daniel Jones is going to look like a steal.
Yeah.
So that's what's so stupid.
Well, that's why everybody was like, "Oh my God, Patrick Mahomes, $500 million contract." They knew this is going to be pretty smart, and then look at.
I mean,
him
it still hog ties the team to some degree, just because literally.
Well, the cap went up to 220.
I know, but still, dude, $45 million of it goes to one guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insane what's happening now. It's breaking the
that's
NFL.
Why they're releasing Orlando Brown and a few others.
Yeah, and do you look at the Saints now? They signed Derek Carr. They have to cut a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. They were already $35 million over.
Well, I think did they cut Cam Jordan already, or did they?
No, I hope they do, because I want the Broncos to sign him. I hope the Broncos just fucking pick over. I hope they get a couple offensive linemen from them. Ramczyk could be cut. The guard could be cut.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah, Michael Thomas could be cut.
There's a
which
lot of
I don't
veterans
know.
on that team.
I don't know if they're going to cut Michael Thomas, because that is kind of one of the things you think would have been what made Derek Carr come there. It's like, you're going to get a throw to Michael Thomas.
Yeah, but he's been known to be such an issue in the locker room. Like, I don't see that.
That's true.
But who knows?
But who
Maybe
do they have
do.
Receiver-wise?
What? Chris Olave.
Oh,
Jawan
shit,
Johnson.
you're right. Fuck.
Yeah, they really
They do have Chris Olave.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, they had a decent receiving core. I mean, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill will be a great Swiss Army knife whenever
they're
it's
still
like
going to use
3rd
him
and
the
2.
same way. I mean, they're paying him like a quarterback. That was a crazy contract where it's like, you get quarterback money if you quarterback, but if you're a tight end, then you're getting tight end money.
He plays it all, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swiss Army knife.
I mean, that's going to kind of do it for the...
I got one more. What do you got?
Well, we already kind of touched on it. Rodgers is...
I figured we kind of covered
Jets
that.
are meeting with him. Will Brady stay retired?
No, he already came out today and said that. You saw his announcement?
Yeah, I saw what he said.
Dude, he's not
Dude,
coming
Rich
back.
Eisen wouldn't have said that on air if he didn't have good thought. Dude, they're not sure about Tua. Tua might not play next year.
It doesn't matter. I don't believe.
Guess where Tom Brady lives?
I know. It
in
doesn't
Miami.
matter. I was really shocked that a guy so reputable as Rich Eisen would say that.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I
He
know.
wouldn't have said
I beg
it
to differ. I feel like
if he
Rich
didn't
Eisen,
have good information.
No. The other thing I do have is
He's
Derrick
not
Henry.
Kendrick Perkins.
Rich Eisen is respectable.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, yep, on the trading block.
Derrick Henry's being shopped.
I get it, man.
Do you think he's going to the Cowboys? That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to cut Zeke, or what do you trade?
Oh, Zeke's gone. There's no doubt about that. That news.
Well,
came
then
out a couple
franchise
weeks ago.
tagging Pollard. I mean, he's still got a deal, doesn't he? Or is he a free agent this year?
I
can't remember.
He's on contract, but they could save a lot of cap space by cutting him.
Yeah, so, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but I bet the Titans are going to want a good haul for him.
Yeah, but I mean, I bet you could probably get like a 2nd and 6th. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's done a lot, but with running backs, like we just talked about, they're not valued at much anymore.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, with Lamar, I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but, I mean, that's another one who's basically on the trade block now by getting the non-exclusive franchise tag.
I'm glad you brought that up. Man, I would have been pissed if we listened to this and realized we didn't talk about it. So news came out today that the Ravens placed a non-exclusive franchise tag on him, which means...
He is guaranteed $32.41 million if he plays for the Ravens, but he now has the ability to basically go and see what anybody's going to give for him.
Yeah.
And then he could leave if he wants, but the Baltimore Ravens have the opportunity to match it. So I think he's gone.
The Falcons are thinking. The Falcons got all this cap space. Go for it. Their running game is already good.
I mean, we were talking about it, dude. That would be impossible to stop.
They need to get a better defense. Their defense is fucking weak.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that would be such a good
But,
fit.
I mean, if you got Lamar, dude, you could just blow all your draft picks on defense for the most part.
Exactly, man. I mean, just go for it, man. I mean, what I would want to see is like a reincarnation of Mike Vick. I mean, you see that Falcons helmet, see a running quarterback.
Yeah.
Run him to the ground.
Yeah, well, you might as well, because, I mean, that's kind of what's going to be the new thing. I I think Mahomes might be the last decade-long franchise quarterback. It looks like we're going to the way of 5 to 7 years.
No,
and just seeing what happens. So we'll see. That about does it for the NFL. Although I did want to touch on the combine real quick.
Oh yeah.
Florida QB Anthony Richardson broke a whole bunch of records in terms of the quarterback.
He can't complete a pass, but he is strong and
He
fast.
can the long. Did you watch his deep balls?
No, I didn't.
Dude, 60 yards, the flick of a wrist. Didn't even look like he threw it right in the breadbasket. But if you want him to throw an out route or a slant, he can't do it.
That's what I'm saying. He was one of the lowest in the QBs in this draft, or just even in draft history at 53%.
They're saying he went from prospected around 19th to now the 4th overall pick.
Yeah.
He's probably going to the Colts.
Dude, he ran faster than a lot of wide receivers.
Yeah, I think he beat out Justin Jefferson. Another crazy thing too, Nolan Smith out of Georgia, edge rusher.
I can't remember his name.
4.39 faster than Saquon Barkley, faster than Christian McCaffrey.
Stephon Diggs too, right?
And he's faster than a lot of people, dude.
Yeah.
That guy's a monster.
A pass rusher. I mean,
Edge.
he's probably probably what, 250 something like that.
Yeah, there was a DT too who ran like a 4.7. I can't remember what his name is.
Those guys from Georgia, it's insane.
We got to talk about the other guy who killed somebody, killed his teammate, and then went and left the combine to go turn himself in.
Jalen Carter,
Yeah,
man.
Jalen Carter, the
He
number one overall pick.
Probably would have been the number one.
Probably going to drop way down.
Way down. And it's crazy. He went back to the combine after that whole thing.
He went, turned himself in, left an hour later, flew back to the combine.
So if people haven't heard about it, he I think it was after the national championship game, right?
It was.
Yeah, he went and drag raced.
Nobody knew what happened. They said there was like a terrible accident. A Georgia player was killed. A staffer, like you said, was killed. But that was all you heard.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden the combine rolls around and it's like he's fucked.
Yeah.
He's the reason why it happened and they were drag racing. But I mean that shit's hard to prove, but it's not a good look, especially for a guy who was the number one overall pick. Well, he would have been the other probably number one because I think depending on if and when Chicago trades the first pick, it's probably going to be a quarterback, but he'd probably be the first non-quarterback off the board.
Yeah, I really think the Texans they're going to try to go for, and that's another thing.
I heard Texans might try and sign Jimmy G.
Really? Well, yeah,
and
that makes
draft
sense.
a guy.
D'Amico Ryan's there. Yeah,
draft a guy and sign Jimmy G.
I love the offseason. I mean, it's just the whole shakeup. I mean, you look at last year on the draft day, A.J. Brown going to the Eagles. That just shook everything up.
Yeah.
I mean, it paves a way for a whole new type of season and league. And I love it.
Well, and then, another thing that happened, which I shared it on our page on the stories, but Michigan, DJ Turner, fastest.
I did it. I had to show it.
I saw that. I saw you put it on. He's not a wrestler. He should find his own taglines to say is all I have to say about that.
Oh, my God.
You just recycle anything from your childhood and act like it's yours. It's cool. Anyways, Michigan's DJ Turner, fastest 40 at the combine, 4.26. He's a cornerback.
That's insane, dude.
Really fast.
4.26.
John Ross still the fastest, 4.22. Yeah. Then the other thing also that is kind of the shitty downside of the combine, offensive lineman Andrew Voorhees tears his ACL during drills.
Oh, man.
Comes back with a fucking brace on, the full leg brace, puts up 38 reps at 225.
Holy shit. What do you think his max would be then?
He had one leg on the ground. He probably could have done 40 or 50, dude. You got to think. If he put up 38 with one leg...
I mean, you do kind of use your leg as
it's
like a
support.
brace. Yeah.
So he was doing that one. His other leg's straight out because it's in that brace.
Oh my god!
He walked in on crutches.
38
Dude, he did
reps at 225. I bet
one
he could
leg
max like 580.
Probably. Who knows?
That's insane.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, you give him 10 extra reps. Let's just say 48 at 225 with an extra leg. So feel bad for that dude because his season literally just ended at the fucking combine. And then the other thing that happened that sucks, offensive tackle Wanya Morris pulls hamstring in the 40-yard dash.
Damn.
Yeah, another guy. Injury, which just sucks, dude, because that's like your
that's
what would you call it? It's your audition.
Yeah,
and
you lose a lot of money.
Can I ask you why a guy who never once in a game runs 40 yards in a dash is running a 40-yard dash.
It's because the combine is notorious for being a moneymaker and like a publicity stunt for the NFL.
So anyways, that sucks for those guys. Real big bummer for them. One other thing I did want to mention, though, before we move on from the headlines. Don Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks go 32-0 with a 74-58 win over Tennessee in the SEC final. This is the women's team.
Yep.
This is the third time they've gone undefeated under Don Staley, and they are becoming one of the better teams in women's NCAA basketball, which is crazy because the UConn Huskies have just been fucking dominant for so long.
If Paige Beckers hadn't torn her ACL,
they probably would be there.
I think they would be there, but I mean, you talked about the past couple of years. South Carolina is really starting to take over that throne as the best women's college team.
Yeah. I mean, you just look at the Huskies. In terms of undefeated seasons, I think they've had undefeated seasons of 95, 2002, 2009, 2010, 2014, 2016. That's 32 games.
You look at all the WNBA stars that came from there too. I mean, it's literally across the fucking board. Sue Bird, Deanna Taurasi. I mean, it just keeps going.
Yeah, and it's just cool for Don Staley too. She is a black woman, and she is now one of the best coaches in the NCAA.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
So
nice.
Good for her.
Yeah.
We just wanted to end the headline segment on that. We are going to take a quick break. We have a new musical guest. I'm gonna let Chad tell you about Edge Over Edge.
They are a band that my good friend Daryl Neal.
Yeah,
plays guitar for and comes from He, comes from Parsons, Kansas, my hometown, plays in this rock band, Edge Over Edge. I checked them out, and I was like, damn, they're pretty fucking good.
Yeah, the song you're about to hear is called The Prince and the Prophet. If you like some good groove and hard rock and roll, Edge Over Edge has got it for you. So you're going to hear Prince and the Prophet right now, and we will be back in just a second. Stay tuned. And we are back. You just heard Edge Over Edge, The Prince and the Prophet. They are one of Chad's buddies' bands out of Parsons, Kansas. Yep. Do you know any of their socials or anything along those lines?
I don't, but I will be getting that. We kind of threw this together kind of last minute, but I've been hitting them up trying to see if they got any upcoming shows. They kind of rock out in the southeastern Kansas area. Daryl Neal leads them in guitar. Those guys rock.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty good song. It's a little harder than I normally like, but I like a lot of 70s power pop and stuff. But if you like a good groove and rock and roll hard rock song, it's where it's at. You can find them on Facebook at Edge Over Edge. And I'm going to see if they have edgeoveredge.com. You can find them there as well. So edgeoveredge.com and Edge Over Edge on Facebook. You can look them up on Spotify as well at Edge Over Edge. Go check out The Prince and the Prophet if you like that song. And right now, we are going to do the shot at the turn because we are at the halfway point.
Let's
in this episode, I think. So it's one of the few times we're actually at the almost halfway point.
Ninth hole.
Just
finished it up.
Just finished up the ninth hole.
Back
at the clubhouse.
Finishing off the crown.
Getting ready to go grip it and rip it.
Here we go.
Finish out the last 9.
Down the goal.
See, that one's so much smoother than the first one.
Oh, a lot easier.
You still look...
no, that wasn't so bad.
It wasn't that bad? Okay, good. I was just going to make sure I didn't need to console you or anything.
No, I was trying to burp. Yep.
There's not too much news in terms of headlines in the NBA. We kind of covered Ja, which is the big thing right now. He's basically thrown his team in the garbage right before the playoffs.
Selfish.
Selfish, shellfish is what he is. He's a selfish shellfish. Yeah. So we're just going to get into the fast break, getting into the Eastern Conference right away. The Bucks are sitting in first place at 46-18. Giannis falls short of a triple-double after the NBA rescinds his last intentionally missed shot and rebound for not having the intention
stat padding
of scoring the ball. I think he did it completely out of jest. I think he was kind of like, he sat there for a minute and thought about it, and then I think he's like, I think this will be fun.
I'd heard where a bunch of teammates were like, dude, do it.
Yeah, and people were egging him on. But
came in.
Apparently in the NBA, in order for it to be considered a rebound, you have to shoot the ball with the intention of scoring it.
Maybe
so
it's just
him
a bad
bouncing
shot.
it off the backboard did not count, unfortunately.
Who knows?
But it just is funny with everything going on with Kendrick Perkins and Nikola Jokic that he does that, and then the NBA comes out like, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah,
But-
the feud between Redick and Perkins just keeps going on. We'll get into that maybe next week when the next chapter continues.
Yeah, there's going to be another one for sure.
yeah.
But Giannis's 23 points, 13 assists, and 9 rebounds helped the Bucks trample the Wizards 117-111 on Sunday. Javon Carter adds another 20 points while shooting 6 of 10 from 3, and Jrue Holiday dropped in 19 points. The Bucks were 22 of 49 from 3, the most allowed by the Wizards all season. This comes after the Sixers snapped what, Chad?
The 15-game winning streak they were on. 15 games they had won in a row.
Yeah, and the Bucks will be without Giannis and Jrue Holiday for the game against the Magic today, which I believe is happening right now.
Let's check that score.
Give them a breakdown of a score that's not going to matter to them tomorrow or Thursday.
They did bounce back against the Wizards, and they are up 10 points against the Magic.
Yeah, oh, wow.
In Orlando.
Okay. And that is without their 2 best players. So let's move on to second place in the Eastern Conference. That is your Boston Celtics, sitting at 45-21. The Cavs rally past the Celtics in overtime last night, 118-114 behind Mitchell's 40 points. Guy can still really shoot the ball and score at will.
He's good at basketball.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown had 32 points to go along with Brogdon's 24 points. The Celtics had a rough go getting to the hotel at 2:30 the night before after a double overtime loss to the Knicks. That's a rough back-to-back.
So those guys had a bit tired.
Yeah, especially missing all-star Tatum and Al Horford, who stayed in Boston to rest after the loss to the Knicks. They still had a chance as they were up double digits with 7 minutes left, and they did have a chance to win with 0.08 seconds left. And I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the exchange between Grant Williams and Donovan Mitchell at the end of this game?
No, I'd missed that.
So with 0.08 seconds left, Grant Williams is at the free throw line with 2 free throws to put them in the lead, and he looks at Mitchell and says, I'm going to make both of them. You know what he did?
Made both of them?
Missed both of them.
No way.
Lost the game.
Holy shit. That's what you get for talking shit.
Yeah, that's what you get for talking shit,
wow.
man. If you're going to talk shit, you better back it up.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's a pretty funny video. If you haven't watched it yet, I'm pretty sure it's on all of the major sports stuff. I saw it on ESPN.
It's on the interwebs.
It's on the interwebs. You can find it wherever. You should go watch that. It is pretty funny because you watch him literally mouth, I'm going to make both of them. And then he proceeds to miss both of them badly.
I want to see Mitchell's reaction after he missed.
Oh, I'm sure they were cracking up.
Fucking laughing his ass off.
The Celts take on Portland tomorrow at 5:30, which gets us to the 76ers sitting in third place at 42-22. Embiid scores 42, and the Sixers beat the Pacers 147-143 in regulation, Chad. That wasn't in overtime. So let me say that again. 147-143 in regulation in a game that was severely lacking any sort of defense whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what I took from that. No overtime, and they gave up 143.
Yeah. Harden added 20 assists, 14 points.
He had 20
assists, 14 points, and 9 rebounds, one shy of a triple-double.
Damn.
The Sixers broke what had been a close game wide open in the fourth. Embiid went 11 of 16 from the field and made all 19. It's so weird. He has so many free throw attempts.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah. And then we
It's
look
like
at
the league
you look
likes
at
him.
Jokic's arms and he's bleeding profusely. But yeah, somehow Embiid makes it to the free throw line
I gotta
19
ask real quick,
times.
since you mentioned that, it occurred to me. Was it your mom that mentioned on
She
Facebook?
has psoriasis.
That, or was it? She said, "Is he scratching himself?"
Yeah, she's maybe because she thought maybe he's got like skin disease and he's itching it. No,
Playing devil's advocate. I like it, Karen.
Yeah, Karen.
Well done.
She'll keep you on your toes. It's my mom. I love her.
Playing devil's advocate.
She was.
That's
She's
smart.
Yeah. She knows what's up. I mean, at least she's trying to get interaction on the post.
She's like, trying to play her own Stephen A. right there.
She might
just
be
playing both sides of it. That's good.
Or Skip. She might be more of a Skip.
That's a good comparison.
So he hit all 19 of his free throw attempts in his 11th 40-point game of the season. They ended up shooting 58.5% from the field, and 6 players wound up in double digits. Tyrese Maxey with 24 and Jalen McDaniels 20 led that field behind Embiid. They play the Timberwolves as we speak. Chad, do we have an update on that?
We certainly do.
Let me know.
Unfortunately, the 76ers are up by 15 against the Timberwolves in Minnesota. I think Embiid's got 29 points with 5 minutes left to go in the third, so I imagine he's probably going to get another 40.
Yeah.
Oh, which will lead to another segment tomorrow on First Take. Oh, Embiid should get MVP.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're standing at a free throw line and half your points are taken from a standstill, it must be pretty nice.
Damn good point.
But I don't know. What do I know?
What do we know? We're only experts.
Yeah, and now we're going to get to the rest of the East, at least up until the main playoff position. So in 4th place, you have the Cavs at 41 and 26. Donovan Mitchell is holding them strong right there in the middle of the pack. In 5th place, you have the Knicks, which is the big surprise.
That's what I want to talk about, man.
Yeah.
They won their nights when you mentioned the Celtics the other day. They won their 9th straight in double overtime against it. That was double overtime, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah,
that was the one that led to the 2:30 a.m. Yeah, that was such an impressive win because it came without Jalen Brunson.
Yeah,
who has a foot injury right now. He might miss a few
foot.
games, but yeah, I like Jalen Brunson, dude. Coming from Villanova, that dude was really good in college.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to remain out for the Knicks for a little bit, but yeah, Emmanuel Quickley had a good game in that one when they outlasted the Celtics. I think he had a career-high 38 points playing 55 minutes for Jalen Brunson. So
yeah, and Julius Randle continues to be efficient. So I don't know. For some reason, I've never been a fan of much New York teams. I don't think, talking about Adam, I do like the Jets because they've been so bad.
they're underdogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But in the
And
same
the
way with the
Knicks.
Knicks, they've
And
been
the Mets.
so bad.
It's
I
just
don't know. I don't like the Mets.
Well, and the Mets now are spending a bunch of money, but then there's the
Exactly.
Yankees.
Yeah, fuck the Yankees.
Yeah,
So I like to see the Knicks win right now.
Yeah.
It's just
I don't
see.
mind it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me because they're in the East anyways. But rounding out in 6th place, you have the Nets sitting at 36 and 28. Surprisingly, after trading away everybody, they're hanging on.
You know why?
Because they probably play better with how fucking Kyrie and KD
That is
hogging
true.
everything.
That is
They're
true.
playing normal basketball.
They have the Iron Man of basketball, straight up Iron Man himself, Mikal Bridges.
Oh, yeah.
He's been stepping up, having multiple
Yep.
30-point games since taking over.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you give guys legitimate chances to, produce. So
Yeah, and don't have drama queens there.
exactly. Let us roll into the Western Conference where
Let's do it.
in 1st place, I think it's still the Denver. The Denver Nuggets.
It's still the Denver Nuggets with how many games up on 2nd place?
I believe they're up 7 games right now
7
over
games.
the Grizzlies. They're sitting at 46 and 19. Murray scores 24 points, and MPJ adds another 20 points to help the Nuggets rally past the Raptors, 118 to 113
What
last
an
night.
exciting game.
The first 3 quarters I could have done without, but that last quarter, let me tell you.
Well, you said it best, man. I thought it was a really good take when you were like, that's a game that a finals team wins because you grind it out. I
Yeah.
mean, any other team, you could just accept it like, fuck, man, we're losing. We've been behind this game. Because, I mean, they were only,
It never was out of hand, but the Raptors outplayed them.
I mean,
for 3
there was
quarters.
times, going into the 4th, they were down by 10, but they grinded it out. And it's, like you said, dude, I really think fucking Murray is a guy like Bobby Boucher that someone just needs to go to
piss
and
him
be
off,
like,
dude.
fuck Canada.
Yeah, nobody likes Canada.
And he just goes, fucking Blue Arrow.
Yeah, they just need to say whoever's on the other team that he's going to be going against said, Canada sucks. Whoever it is.
Maple syrup is lame. Dude, I mean, he just, as soon as he gets irritated, he goes off.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
mean,
what we saw in the bubble was him getting pissed off.
Yep.
And just especially Donovan Mitchell and him. Those two guys were like, "Oh, you're
go
gonna
back
fucking
to
hit a shot.
yep.
I'm gonna fucking hit a shot." And they went back and forth. tit
We've
for
even
tat.
seen it with him and Dame. I mean, it's just like when someone challenges him, he plays better. It's just my uncle Jacob used to put it when I was the guy I was talking to when he came over. Like, I mean, believe me, I sucked at basketball, but like he used to tell me, he was like, "Dude, you play better when you're mad." Like some people do that.
Yeah, you just need a little extra fuel for the fire.
Exactly. He is the Bobby Boucher. So yeah, last night was a fucking exciting game. I loved it because I was actually able to watch that one.
Yeah,
Friday was a great one. Go ahead and get into that one. Could you watch that one?
Oh, Friday was a great game. It was a bummer that you missed it, but they just dominated.
Yeah.
The Grizz had no chance.
Yep.
And then Ja Morant got in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just saw in that game, much like in this game, and I think that's what a lot of people are realizing when it's going to come down to a 7-game series. Just one game, they're gassed by the fourth quarter, and they're like, "Oh, the Nuggets aren't done yet."
Well,
and it's like, we got into the fourth quarter, we did it. And it's like, nah, man, you got to stomp on their throats all the way to the end
It's
of the
almost
game.
like those UFC fights where a guy has a better cardio. It's like, okay, you can beat up on me for 3
but I'm
4
going
rounds.
to be good in the fifth. How you going to be?
Yeah. We're up here at 5,000 feet. Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, home field advantage, while it might have died in terms of Mile High Stadium, it is alive and well in Ball Arena.
It sure is, man. I mean, Jokic just those clutch free throws last night. I know we always spend a lot of time on them, but we fucking love them. And
we have the benefit of watching who I think is going to be a top 10 basketball player of all time, possibly, arguably top 5.
It's just what you're seeing right now is
It's never been done before.
The respect he deserves for the unselfishness, coming out and calling out Perk. We don't need to get into it again, but it's just like,
well, and
there is no stat padding. This guy,
exactly. Here's my point, dude. If he's a stat patter, why did he finish an assist shy of another triple double?
Exactly what I was about to say.
And 13 rebounds.
I was going to do it. Cheers to that. Exactly.
Cheers.
It was a sophomore triple-double. Easily could have tried
the old Sombor double-double
to force an assist last night, but he,
no, it wasn't there.
Oh, dude, let's talk about this. Who the fuck was it? The poor free throw shooter that he fouled last night? Oh man.
Dude, I can't remember his name, but it was genius.
So there was a guy on the Raptors last night that was a 60% free throw shooter, and the Nuggets were up by like 2 points or something like that. They just wanted to seal the game. The Raptors get the ball, go down to try to tie it up, and what does Jokic do?
Fouls the dude
with the worst free throw percenter. Nobody expected. Even the commentators are like, "Oh wow, he found clearly intentional." The guy goes to the line, misses both of them.
Yeah. Well, it's just like on Friday night too. Did you see when he was on the bench and he had the clipboard?
I didn't watch.
Oh shit, that's right. You weren't watching. So at one point on Friday night, dude, he's on the bench and he's drawing up the play.
Are you serious?
He's sitting there drawing up the play, and everybody is dude, Jeff Green, who's been in the league about as long as he's been alive.
37-year-old. They call him Uncle Jeff.
Yeah, Uncle Jeff is watching Jokic. Just everybody's like, okay, yeah. Malone, nobody's around him, dude. He's a coach now.
I love it, dude.
He's a coach.
I love Jokic. He's going to be the next Phil Jackson.
So that's our bias buzzer beater.
I swear, dude. I swear. I love it. I love the Nuggets, man, because they're a team. They're not just a fucking super team.
The super teams are bullshit. It's not KD going and joining up with Devin Booker and Ayton, which is basically a low-level super team, if you will.
Oh, it totally is a super team, man.
Yeah, it's stupid, man. And you've got a homegrown team. And again, we've said this many a times. Jokic is a second-round pick. Yep. Do you know how many guys produce in the NBA that are second-round picks for more than a couple years? Not many.
More than that, he's a Taco Bell pick.
Yeah.
They didn't even want to show his picture.
A Taco Bell commercial
makes me
in the
want
draft.
Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's delicious. They're going to take on the Bulls tomorrow night. They've got a lot of games against marquee teams coming up. And everybody's giving them their best shot down the stretch.
Sure.
So I think maybe the last week you might see some games getting losses out of scheduling and just resting people.
And it's a smart thing to do,
Once they have it locked up, you probably won't see Jokic play more than 3 quarters a game.
you know, they could be criticized, but the fact that they have such a dominant lead in the West, which is the dominant
with
conference,
games in hand on everybody.
Another shot at fucking Perkins when he made these claims about stat padding, brought up the stupid point that the Eastern Conference is the dominant conference. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, how long has it been that the West has just been dominant? Let's like Golden State Warriors for how long now?
Well,
8
now,
years.
look what we got now. We got KD with the Suns.
Yeah.
We got Kyrie with
and
the
Luka.
Mavs.
Yeah.
Dude, the other night they both had 40 points.
Yeah, which was crazy.
That's nuts. And then we got the fucking Kings. Go ahead and get started on the Kings.
Well, first we got to get into Memphis real quick. We're gonna breeze over them, and then I'm gonna get into Sacktown.
Do you mean the Crips?
Yeah, the Crips. I mean the Grizz lose to the Clips 135-129 Sunday night after scoring 51 points in the third quarter. Wasn't enough to do it. Desmond Bain scores 30. Tyus Jones had 25 points and 12 assists, and Jaren Jackson had his own 24 points to add as well. Look to see this be the core group of scorers as they try to make up for the indefinite loss of Morant for being a dumbass. They take on the Lakers tonight at 8.
I don't feel sorry for Morant.
I don't either, man. And it's just, dude, you have everything. Like, literally, people are like, this guy might be like the next, not like LeBron in terms of start, but he has a chance to be like that polarizing figure where he's like one of the top NBA stars and he's pissing it away. So I don't really feel bad for him.
A Powerade deal where he, you know, is a big.
Oh, did they cut him?
No, not. I'm just saying he was a front runner for that. It's only a matter of time.
I think Adidas is supposed to release his shoes.
No, Nike.
Oh, is it Nike?
Nike.
Nike
was released a shoe, and they fucking cut Kyrie when Kyrie retweeted an anti-Semite fucking
movie.
That
was crazy. Yeah, we talked about that.
Here, let's just spend another minute on this. If they cut that shoe and cut Kyrie after a
Think how much
retweet,
money they lost on like shit that they've gotten ready to go, and then
they need to sign
stupid.
fucking Jokic. Jokic is the sure
You know
bet.
what's crazy? Who's Jokic a sponsor for, or who's
Maybe
a
Frank
spokesman
Azar?
for? Yeah, I don't know, dude.
The
He's
strong
nobody
arm?
because he doesn't care about that
He
shit.
doesn't-
He wants to win basketball games, man.
He wants to win titles. That's what he wants to win.
He hates the MVP talk. He just wants a fucking ring and to be the best ever.
That's what I want to get at is like the Nike cut Kyrie after something so small like that. I mean, it wasn't small, but it was still a controversy. But
yeah,
compared to gun violence, which Morant's in, do you think Nike cuts him?
they might, man. Well, if anything, they might push back his shoe release until they see what happens with all this. But now, especially with the police investigating him, and like you're not allowed to have a gun while drinking, and he's in a bar with a gun with people who are clearly drinking, and if you want me to expect that he's at a strip club at 4 a.m. or whatever it was, not drinking, like, dude, you're full of shit.
After a loss, too.
After a loss. Yeah. So
I like that Steven Adams came out and said that because that's a good fucking point, man. That's what I texted you the next day. I was like, how could you come out and go to a strip club? And you're like, oh, blah, blah, blah,
yeah, especially this close to the end, and you had a chance to get one up on the Nuggets and get closer to actually being able to catch him, and you pissed it away, and then you pissed away what could be one of the better years for you guys to make it deep in the playoffs, because the West is only going to get better. Imagine the Suns next year, a full off season. Imagine, Dallas with a full off season, dude. It's only going to get tougher, and now you guys are falling behind everybody. So he fucked up bad. But let's get to Sacktown, third place.
I like this team as much as I'm scared of them. I always
I wouldn't
like
want
to
to
be
face 'em.
unbiased. I just because I like seeing these teams that haven't been there, and Sabonis, another international player. Do you know what country he's from? What the fuck is it?
I don't know. I want to say it's not Serbia. It's
No, it's not that. I want to say it's Greece. No, that's not it.
No, that's Giannis.
No, I know that's Giannis, but what the fuck is it, man? Because these international players,
Lithuanian.
of
Who would have
course.
known?
Dude,
Duh.
everybody goes to Lithuania.
I didn't know that. I would have
Fucking
went
vacation capital of the world.
Yeah, I would have went more like Russian, but
Yeah, but still, him and fucking De'Aaron
Fox. Okay,
De'Aaron Fox.
don't give me shit about Giannis anymore. Okay,
All right,
bro.
it's De'Aaron Fox. Okay, it's
De'Aaron Fox. Yeah,
All right, you can tell we're getting a few drinks into this.
Yeah, it always happens.
Yeah.
Right about this time, you can tell that things are getting a little loosey-goosey.
Names get hard to put. But dude, they won last night against a good team. But they did win last night. I fucking forgot who it was against. But the Kings just continue to win.
Oh, Kevin Huerter scores 25. Domantas Sabonis has 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists in his 8th triple-double of the season, and the 123-108 win over the Pelicans Monday night. The Kings have won 6 of their last 7 games after the All-Star break and will probably move into second here in the next week as they are only a half game back from the Grizz, who will now be floundering without Ja Morant.
I think we can go ahead and hand the Coach of the Year award to Mike Brown. There's no question about it.
Yeah, or Malone. The only thing that sucks is that usually those Coach of the Year awards goes to those teams that are like shouldn't be where they're at. But dude, Malone and the coaching job he's done, he should win it. But I would gladly take Mike Brown.
That's like trying to give it to Nick Sirianni or Andy Reid. It's like these guys are great.
Yeah.
But when you have that talent with Jokic and stuff, they'll never give
make
it
it
to
easier.
him. But Mike Brown, I mean, even coming from that coaching tree of Steve Kerr and stuff, I mean, he was coaching LeBron there in Cleveland and stuff, right? So it's like to take on this whole shitty team of Sacramento and lead De'Aaron Fox.
He got it.
I got it that time. Dude, I'm
Takes a
happy
few.
to see it, man. It's just like they've been in a playoff drought for 16
It's just
years.
like we talked about the Jets, man. You don't want to see anybody suck.
No.
You want them to do
Dude,
good.
I've
but
been that team, so it's been good, man.
team right now.
I was in that
Speaking
locker
of
room.
which, it is the 7-year anniversary of the Broncos' descent to suckiness today. Peyton Manning retired today,
really?
7 years ago,
Shit.
and effectively ruined everything.
Damn.
Damn you, Peyton.
Come back.
We love you, but we hate you. No. But they were talking about that today on the fan, and I was like, oh shit, that literally was like the beginning of the end. Him retiring.
That's nuts.
Anyways,
Man. They've gone through a lot of quarterbacks. Since
enough
then.
of me crying about the donkeys.
Wait, do you want to? You can keep crying about it.
No, I'm okay. Anyways, Sacktown takes on the Knicks Thursday night. Let's wrap up the rest of the Western Conference. In 4th place, you have the Phoenix Suns, who have not lost a game since the addition of Kevin Durant. They are 36-29. Chad, give us that stat you were talking about just a second ago.
So since KD joined the Suns and started, starting for them, Devin Booker and KD joined Wilt and company for 4th most in combined scoring in the first 3 games between 2 players. So him and Devin Booker have scored 188. That is just 4th.
In 4 games?
In 3 games.
Oh, 3. Damn, that's
But
a
they're
lot of fucking
4th.
points.
I mean, it's kind of like what we've talked about with Wilt. It's kind of conflated because it's just like it was.
Yeah,
nuts
Wilt was
before
playing against guys like me and you.
that. Yeah, way shorter than him.
Yeah.
But between 2 players in 3 games, Wilt holds the record, and they're all 3 different players. It's basically Wilt and somebody
Some
else.
dude.
Nobody. I didn't
Yeah.
even recognize the other guys playing with them. But the fact that Devin Booker and KD made those, because there's games where like 37 and 31 or whatever it might be. I know that first game Booker had 37.
Yeah.
It's like and Paul hasn't. He's not been hitting his shots, but he's been getting assists. But the big question is Ayton. Ayton is not playing
I
up
think
to par.
he's trying to figure out what he does now.
Yeah.
Because he was like the post guy. Well, they're not really playing post-up basketball anymore.
No.
They've got Devin Booker, who's a sharpshooter, Kevin Durant, who's a mid-range to three-point shooter, and you got Chris Paul, who's an assist machine, but also a shooter. And it's like, that's kind of what we were talking about. Like, what are everybody's roles going to be now?
Yeah.
And I think you might see Ayton become expendable here.
It really scares me, man. I really think that I mean, I've said it here. I've tried to make predictions. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm right. I think it's going to be Nuggets and Suns in the Western Conference Finals because
possible.
Mike Wilbon, he noticed it where, KD is gliding like he used to. There's a lot of times he's dealt with a lot of injuries. He's kind of older now. Like, how old is he? He's like 34, 35 now?
I don't know if he's that old. He might be like 33. Let me ask Google.
But the thing of it is like, man, he is moving smoothly because I think he finally feels comfortable. And he's got a guy like Chris Paul that doesn't give a
No, he's 35. He's your age.
Yeah, that's what I think.
88.
You're older than me, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's your age.
Okay. All right, either way.
Obviously, somebody is a little self-conscious about turning 35 this week.
I hate it, okay? Halfway to 40, all right? But Fucking Katie. That's a good one. All right. So, Don's.
Getting old's a bitch, like I said
Next
in our
week.
highlight from the last time I posted.
That was a good one.
Getting old's a
Yeah,
bitch.
It is a good one, man.
But yeah,
But no, dude, they do look scary because what I wanted to get at, my main point of this is when he hit that fucking tiebreaker against Kyrie. That says a lot. And I don't know, I didn't get a chance to watch it because of last weekend and the fam and stuff.
a lot of people said that they look like there's some bad blood.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna get
Yeah.
at.
It
Is
seems like there's a little bit of a
they didn't
fuck
really
you
have
aspect.
their secret handshake like they
Well, because
used to have.
Kyrie fucking dipped out on him, dude.
Yeah, he skipped town.
There's too many K names on the goddamn fucking net, or used to be. But KD, I think, was willing to work it out and see how this thing went. And Kyrie's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
KD's hurt. I'm done.
And KD went to a better team, and then they finally match up, and he hit that tiebreaker with a little bit left. And
I didn't see the video, but I heard him talking about it. Did he give him a little bit of look or what? Did he hit him with like a stare down?
All I've heard is from hearsay, like ESPN and stuff, where they just didn't have much interaction and stuff. But the big news for this is Luka and Booker getting into it again. Another rivalry that keeps building because the Mavs beat them in their series last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then Luka got in. It's Booker said something to him, and Luka said he couldn't say it without getting fined in the post game. But yeah, whatever he said, Luka went like right at him and got nose to nose with him, and then they're just talking shit.
I kind of like Luka more into it because Luka said afterwards he was like, why don't you? Or maybe he said it during the game.
He's like, why do you wait till there's 3 seconds left, or whatever it was?
Yeah,
why don't you say it in the middle of the game?
Yeah, I mean. Who knows?
Not when you've locked it all up.
Right. Yeah, so it's just we'll see, man. The Suns look good. What else you got on the NBA?
Well, we got in 5th place, which blew Chad's mind earlier, the Golden State Warriors.
I thought they were way
in fucking 5th place. That's a team though that I wouldn't like. The Suns, I really don't want to face, but low key, like a team that I hope I hope they stay in like 5th place, so we don't fucking play them in the first round.
Because they are our Achilles heel.
Yeah.
They really
are. Dude, Merrill bought me that tickets to the Nuggets game to go see the Golden State Warriors like 3 years ago, and it was the time they scored like 60 points in the first quarter.
I will never forget that.
And then I just sat there, and she's like, do you want to leave? And I was like, no. I just want to watch how good this guy is at shooting the basketball because he's fucking dominating.
They don't miss,
us.
man. It's nuts and that's what's fun about watching the NBA is like these guys that like your job is to get a ball in a hole in a hoop, and you just do it consistently. From the basic simplistic point of view, it's impressive as fuck.
I watched a crazy video the other day. I can't remember the guy's name, but he literally made like 193 threes in a row.
Who did this?
Some random dude.
That's nuts, man.
And yeah, he videos the whole thing, and literally he says he thinks in the next month he'll hit 200 straight.
That's pretty impressive.
It's all from the same. It's the same spot, so it's not like he's moving around.
It's not like an NBA
but still, dude,
190
some in a row.
That's hard to do.
That is insane.
But
that's how Steph
like
Curry
playing basketball. And dude, there's sometimes like even when I just go out there and play like pickup shit, like I dare anybody out there to go try to make like 3 free throws in a row. It ain't fucking easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah, just 3. It's 10 foot away. It's not easy.
Then imagine a fucking arena watching you.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
think about that.
Damn good point. But right now, when you bring up the Warriors, they are 4 behind the Thunder in Oklahoma City right now, getting into the third quarter. Yeah, I mean, they're playing in Oklahoma City, and this is what I wanted to bring up tonight. They're 7-24 on the road. For some reason, they do not playing on the road.
They only like that sea level shit.
Yeah. They want to play in Golden State.
I don't know how high Oklahoma City is, but either way, it's not sea level. It's probably close, but it's not sea level.
It's away from home, so they don't.
Yeah, they're not good away from home, but they're still. I mean, they're very good at home because I think you said what are they 4 and something?
7-24 on the road.
So 7 of their 34 wins come on the road.
Yeah.
So they were 27 and something.
So if they had to come to Mile High, I actually feel confident.
That's the only thing. That's the nice thing is that the Nuggets should basically have home court advantage all the way through the Western Conference Finals.
I think we're really starting to see some age come from Draymond Green. Dude, just real quick, I know this is really off topic, but if nobody's seen the new Chris Rock special, he mentions Draymond Green.
Oh, does
It's
he?
so fucking funny.
I watched the shit about him talking about the slap heard around the world, and it was pretty funny when he just went off on Will Smith.
In the special?
Oh, yeah, he talked about the slap. You didn't hear that?
Did you watch the new special?
I didn't watch it, but I watched the part about him talking about Will Smith.
I've only got halfway through it, though. So I need to finish it.
Okay, well, I won't ruin too much, but he basically goes off about, he's like, how many of you people in this room have been interviewed by your wife who cheated on you and asked how you felt about it? Like, yeah, I sucked his dick. What do you think about it? And he's like, how are you? He's like, and then he went off on this tirade, basically calling him a bitch, like over and over and over again. Everybody's like, he's a bitch. Like, and
That's
he
awesome.
he had the last laugh for sure.
That's good.
Plus, he did it on the only live streamed comedy special
that was
on Netflix.
I thought that was badass, dude. It was the first time.
They're gonna start doing that all the time now.
I hope so. You know, if I wasn't a Joe Coy, I probably would have been watching that. So
Yeah,
that's
I haven't
awesome.
watched it yet. I do want to watch it. It looks like it's pretty good, but
Yeah, halfway into it, it's fucking Chris Rock to the T. He's a legend. He's a legend.
Yeah.
Chris Rock's one
Well,
of the
he's
best.
been working on this for a while now, so
Yeah.
it should be pretty good.
Yep.
But anyways, we got one more person in the West to talk about, and that is the 6th place Minnesota Timberwolves at 34-22.
I think they're still down right now. God damn, 15 to the Sixers.
Ah, damn it.
Fucking Embiid's got 39 going into the fourth. God damn, we're gonna hear about this tomorrow.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
shit.
it's okay though because he's got to get past Giannis before he can even sniff Jokic's jockstrap.
You're
So
right.
let's move on. That's it for the fast break.
I like it.
So we have UFC 285 recap to talk about.
You threw me a curveball right there. I like that. I expected it. I knew about this, but I totally fucking forgot to prep for this.
Oh, you did? Well, I mean,
But,
I figured
I mean,
we both watched it and know what
Yeah,
happened.
I-
I really only want to talk about the two main fights.
Yeah. I do want to talk about Bo Nickel because he.
Oh,
did-
yeah, let's talk about that.
He need that guy in the nuts.
He did.
I
but-
think the ref just missed it, man.
I mean, it's hard though, dude. When people are,
Oh no, it
it's
was
not like-
fast.
it wasn't
'Cause
like
he
a
kneed
fucking,
him.
and
He
everybody saw
kneed
it.
him and then pulled him down, so it was real quick.
Yeah.
And the guy didn't really show any pain from it, or when you get thrown to the ground, you can't be like, "Hey, I just got nicked."
Well, because you got to worry about fighting.
Exactly. Yeah, but Bo Nickel still is undefeated. I think his rise to fame is going to continue.
Yeah, and he's like one of the best wrestlers of the last few years to come out of college. too,
Yeah,
from what
Penn
I-
State, man, he was fucking dominant. So let's pay attention to him going forward. He's going to be great.
Yeah,
there was a bunch of undefeated fighters that came through. Ian Gary is still undefeated. He got knocked down and still came through and won that
Yeah.
fight.
The big thing though, Shevchenko, I felt like got dominated by Grasso. I think there was a few times.
Really, see, because I had heard because I didn't watch the fight. I had asked. I was like, was she winning?
I felt like Grasso should have got the first 2 rounds. It looked like Shevchenko was having. That's just, and I'm not.
God, I can't wait to
Dude, I'm
rewatch
not a
this.
trained UFC analyst by any means, but just from like your average UFC fan watching the fight, I felt like Grasso was outstriking her for the
Wow.
first 2 rounds.
I can't wait to rewatch.
And
this.
then I
Fuck.
think the 3rd round, Shevchenko made some adjustments in between rounds and came out, and that was when she started taking over the fight. But yeah, as soon as that was one of the craziest back takings I've seen in real time, because it was like Shevchenko tried some spinning, I think it was a back fist, some sort of spinning move, and Grasso, as soon as she saw her back, just grabbed her and jumped up on her, took her to the ground, and then fucking choked her out.
Well, didn't you say like she had said that she practiced that or something?
Yeah, they said that after the fight in the oh my god, Chad's arm's falling asleep.
Just try to pop it.
Oh.
So-
He's either, I don't know if he's throwing gang signs at it. He might be Ja Morant. I don't know. I think he just threw the Crip sign at me. But yeah, after the fight, she said that they know that's something that she does all the time is those spinning attacks, whether it's a elbow or back fist or a spinning kick, and they were waiting for it. And she finally got it, and dude, it's literally like you was watching like all the training up to a fight just like come to fruition in like a sequence. It was really cool to see.
So you watched the whole card? Is that right?
I didn't watch all of the card. We were out and about for a little bit. I got back, and I think the Garbrandt fight was ending.
Which another one surprised me. I didn't expect Garbrandt to win. He's
he's
been
getting
in a slump.
old. Yeah,
He's been in a slump and fucking won.
All he's been doing is talking about dick pills. So,
really? What?
I just saw a bunch of commercials.
I didn't know that, dude. That's hilarious.
ED stuff and him and his some girl. Yeah. So things
hilarious.
haven't been going well for Garbrandt, but he did come in and he did win, and it was a unanimous decision. So it wasn't.
That was another one that dollar bet got.
Yeah,
was him winning by unanimous.
And then there was there was another fight that was really good.
The Shavat.
Oh yes.
See, that's when I
really good fight. That one was way more back and forth than I thought. I thought Shavat was just going to come out and destroy him. He did not. But then you just saw that he's a better fighter there towards the end, and like he just started beating him up.
I didn't realize he's 17-0 with. Here's the shocking thing: 17 finishes.
Yeah,
that's fucking Mike Tyson shit right there, man. I mean,
eat your children type shit right there.
Seriously, that's the type of trash talk he does. Yeah. And I don't know his nationality, but he looks like he's from somewhere.
It's somewhere similar to like
it's like Serbia up there.
What's his name?
Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah. I mean, 17-0 was 17
He gave Joe Rogan
finishes.
that cool hat, and it looked like Joe Rogan had no neck, even more so when he put that hat on.
For
some reason, when the hat went on, he was like, "Oh, so what do you think about the fight?" And it's like, where'd your neck go all of a sudden?
He is such an odd-looking man. Every time Hannah sees him, she just laughs. She's like, he is a weird-looking dude.
He does kind of look like a red thumb.
Yeah. When we saw his stand-up, that's what he said. He was like, I look like a thumb.
Yeah.
It's right.
It's that's his burden to bear.
I'm looking forward to watching that one because Jeff Neal missed weight, and Dana White came out and said, I'm still going to put this fight on because I think it's going to be fight of the night. And lo and behold,
I wouldn't put it fight of the night. Grasso winning, definitely fight of the night. Just because nobody thought she was going to win. I'm sure that there was people who put money on it, but in terms of like all the analysts and stuff, like Shevchenko was supposed to just dominate. And
dude, I mean,
she didn't.
I would be a dumbass, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring up on the last podcast. I called her the next victim. That's literally what I said.
You did say that, and she proved everybody wrong, which I'm interested to see what you think about the fight after you watch it again, because I do want to see what your thought process on. Because like I said, I do feel like
I've watched the finish, but I want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, the finish was just, I mean, it all happened so fast.
But I mean, let's talk about that chokeout, because it's gone viral how tight that squeeze was where Valentina's.
Because she didn't have it at first. Yeah. And she only had her chin, and then she just kept squeezing.
Fucking
it's just
Python, dude. Yeah. Where you see the line of where her arm was, and
on her face.
Valentina's face is red as a fucking apple, and then the rest is just white. I mean, I was shocked. This is a woman that is a GOAT. She has dominated the division. And, let me just read this real quick because before we cover the main event, and we will here in a second, but, like, it's just nuts that John Jones and Stipe are back. That actually just got put in place today. That's going to be in July.
Yeah.
It's set for July. Conor McGregor is back. The Volk versus Islam rivalry. Bo Nickel has arrived. Shavat versus Hamza exist. Huge shakeup in women's flyweight. 2023 is gonna be a great year as an MMA fan.
I'm looking forward to actually like getting more involved into it, like just watching it.
It's great, man. And see, here's a good way for you to kind of like keep getting into it is when I started to get really back into this, I realized, and this is something I explained to my dad over the weekend, because before we went out to Joe Coy, I put on some of the prelims for him, and I can't remember which fucking fight we watched, but it was pretty fucking good, and the guy really got rocked. Anyway, I told him, I said, I love my Chiefs. I'm always going to have one team. And, sometimes I like to see another NFL team win. But when they go up against the Chiefs, I'm always going to be a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
But the difference is with UFC, I've got multiple different
it's not faction. It's just, I want this. I like this person.
I've got 4 or 5 fighters that I really like a lot. But there's sometimes that some of my favorite fighters go up against each other. And it's just a win-win. And
I think for me, and this is, I've been, opposed to getting super into UFC just because the typical, prototypical, if you will, UFC fan is a fucking douchebag who wears affliction out at the bars and they go hang out with their friends. So it's hard to get over that stigma of like, I don't want to like be all into UFC and be lumped into those guys. But for me, it's the storylines, and that's the one thing that UFC has been really good about is like, you know, before the fight, they're giving you like, you know, fucking breakdowns of like where this person came from, who they trained with. And I think just like, you know, with F1 Drive to Survive, dude, literally 2 years ago, I did not care about F1.
Exactly,
I
man.
watched that fucking show, and I watched a race for the first time on Sunday.
I mean,
I think if sports are smart, I think if the MLB was smart, they'd have a full swing Drive to Survive fucking type show
Such
that
a good
made
point.
me give a fuck about baseball.
Thank you. Such a good point where like there's media sources nowadays that kind of really get you into it. UFC Countdown really got me into it. I've said it before on this podcast where it gives you a breakdown of how these guys train, how hard they train, and it made me respect them so much more. The country that they go to, even sometimes the religion, where like they don't want to drink. They don't want to party, and all they care about is fighting. Like, there's just so much the more that get into it, and that's why, like, I think this podcast is great because we cover such a wide array of sports. It's it's unbiased.
Well, and people are that that are listening are watching us sometimes. Like, you are not a huge hockey fan. Back at you. Yeah. I'm not a huge UFC fan necessarily, but you follow the sport. I follow the sport, but now we have a reason to actually deep dive into it, and it gives everybody else a reason to do that.
Hey, we have our wheelhouses, man. And we're going to keep that wheel turning.
We do.
I'm holding my beer up so
I'm out of booze, but...
Dude, you drink like a fish.
There was a little bit in there, so it wasn't a total, blasphemous cheers.
Yeah.
But
we are on our way out, so that works out.
Yeah, it definitely does. We're going to hit a quick break because right now you are about to hear John Daly.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard, man.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard.
And we are back for the final time of episode 26. You just heard John Daly with Hit It Hard, Man, and that's going to bring us into the Daily Dose of Excellence, which this week is who, Chad?
KJ Osborne of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, KJ Osborne on Sunday night pulled a man from a burning car in Austin, Texas, before carrying him to safety and helping to save his life. He actually said, most of the time the saying goes, wrong place, wrong time, but this time God had me and us at the right place at the exact time. The us being KJ along with 3 other people actually ended up helping save this man's life, but KJ was the one who pulled him from the burning car. So on that note, he is our daily dose of excellence this week, and it's nice to see these NFL players doing something good for once.
It does, because we have too many stories like Mixon and just other... not so much NFL, but Morant and stuff. So, we did bring up, what was it, the other dude? It used to, Peyton Hillis, he saved people
saved
before.
His life.
So
or saved his kids' lives. Sorry, he
for,
saved his life as well, I guess.
That's true. But there's something to be said for, like, these guys that have to be in these high-pressure situations, and I think that's why the fight-or-flight kind of situation, they will always go towards fight because they've been in that situation so many times. So, they're always, it's like they have the capability to be heroes, and for them to act on it when they have multi-million-dollar contracts and a burning car, they could be like, damn, fuck this, I don't want to get injured, and to still save
Too rich
somebody.
for my blood.
Fucking burning car or not, they're going to save somebody.
So, KJ Osborne went above and beyond, Vikings wide receiver. So, on that note, he is the daily dose of excellence this week, and we will cheers to him. And to him saving that guy's life, because it's cool to see stories like that, and it's cool to bring you guys stories like that, because I know a lot of times we are just talking about sports, and it is kind of, what does it really mean? Well, we try and bring you guys stories like anything for the daily dose of excellence that is something that's a little bit uplifting, a little bit of something that, makes sports seem like it means something more than just a game.
Well, and we just want to bring you guys good news. There's a lot of good news out there, and we want to show it to you guys.
It's not all bad. But on that note, KJ Osborne,
cheers
to you, sir. You are the daily dose of excellence, so we'll tag you. I hope to see you respond to this and let us know how appreciative you are of us giving you this honor, which I don't know what that honor is, but you've got it, sir. And I've got the burps.
On that note, That was a good episode.
It was a good
Thank
episode.
you guys for listening.
Yes, thanks for tuning in. If you're listening right now, please go like, share, subscribe, and follow us on anything and everything. And if you are listening or watching us, please rate us 5 stars. It helps so much. You have no idea. So
We're gonna keep going.
indeed. And on that note, we love you guys. Chadley, I love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
Cheers to another good episode. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, have a good time, because that's all we want to do.
Yeah.